Spring training continues from the CenturyLink Sports Complex in Fort Myers, where this afternoon the Minnesota Twins face the St. Louis Cardinals in Grapefruit League action from South Florida. Welcome to Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. I'm Tom Hanneman. Twins and Cardinals here in just a moment. Paul Molitor's team continues to take shape in Florida. Plenty of work to be done for the opening day battle with Kansas City exactly 4 weeks from today. But for now, a collision with the Cardinals. Corey Provis, Dan Gladden from Twins Radio bring you today's game next.
Cardinals managed by Mike Matheny. Colton Wong will lead off, play second base. At shortstop, batting second, Alamedes Diaz. Randall Grichuk will be in left field. He'll bat third. Batting fourth, right fielder Stephen Piscotty. Jed Gorko will be at third base. He'll bat fifth. Tommy Pham at center field, bat sixth. Chad Huffman will be at first base, batting seventh. Patrick Wisdom will DH, bat eighth. Former Twin Eric Fryer will catch and bat ninth. Pitching for the Cardinals here this afternoon will be John Gant. Here's a starting lineup for your Minnesota Twins. In center field, leading off, it'll be Byron Buxton. At first base, batting second, will be Joe Mauer. Miguel Sano at third base, bats third. Max Kepler will bat fourth, play right field. Byung-Ho Park will DH this afternoon. He'll bat fifth. Catching, batting sixth, it'll be Jason Castro. Jorge Polanco at shortstop, batting seventh. Drew Stubbs gets the start in left field. He'll bat eighth. And at second base here this afternoon, batting ninth, Eduardo Escobar. Pitching, making his third Grapefruit League start, will be right-hander Kyle Gibson. Umpires for this afternoon's contest, Field and Colbreth be calling balls and strikes. Jeff Kellogg will be at first base. Marvin Hudson at second base. Our good buddy Tim Timmons at third base. Colton Wong in the batter's box. Here's Corey Provis.
Hi, Danny. Thank you. And Gibson is set to go from the windup. The opening pitch is a sinker. Strike call with that underway. On a lovely day yet again here in Southwest Florida. Partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the upper 70s. And a nice breeze here this afternoon. The 0-1, same pitch, same result. Strike two called on Wong. You can hear that wind in our microphone. It's whipping out towards the left field foul pole at the moment. No balls and 2 strikes on Colton Wong. And here's the pitch. Bounce foul down the first base side. Wong will be the St. Louis second baseman this year. Hit .240 last year. He was drafted by the Twins. 16th round pick back in 2008, but did not sign. And eventually a first round pick by the Redbirds in 2011. No balls and 2 strikes on Wong. Here it comes, up and inside, arching his back, a fastball. And the count moves to 1-2. Danny mentioned that Gibson today making his 3rd spring training start. So far, 3 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 8 hits, a walk, and he has struck out 2. The 1-2 tapped foul again to the first base side. Big year, Danny, I think, for Kyle Gibson. I think he's aware of that as well. Made some drastic offseason changes to his throwing program. Is this a make or break year for Gibson, or it's not that severe?
Well, I think it's a make or break not only for Gibson but for the Twins. I think it's important that when he toes the rubber, they got a good opportunity to win a ball game here. But yes, I think that he's tweaked a few things, and we're going to find out probably after his first 4 or 5 starts.
Off speed that time, and it's lifted foul. Boy, the first inning last year, this was a big issue for Gibson. His ERA in the first inning last year, covering 25 starts, was near 8. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Wong. Ledmus Diaz on deck, the talented shortstop. And here it comes. It's popped up foul.
Hit Jack. Dang it.
Jack Morris, our colleague, is here today looking great in a white golf shirt. No hat. Hopefully some suntan lotion on Jack's face today. He'll need it.
Sunblock. Can't even see him. White shirt, white hair, white goatee.
But no double buckle shoes.
No.
Those back
Key.
in Minneapolis this year. That wasn't the case last spring. And the 1-2 wrapped to short. This is Polanco fielding between the ankles, and he throws out. Wong for out number 1. That's Gibson's game, inducing that ground ball with the sinker. And Wong is the first out. And here comes Diaz.
You talked about Gibson's troubles last year early in the ball game, and what it related to is the Twins were behind early in ball games when he started. Tough to play catch-up baseball, especially so early.
Yeah, I was looking back at those numbers, and the first inning ERA again approaching 8. But this surprised me a little bit, Danny. If you look at Gibson's career, the first inning has always been problematic. His first inning ERA over his career is near 6. And we're not talking about a guy that's got a year or 2 of big league time. There's a good sample to judge. And off speed, a strike called, and a Ledmus Diaz, 26-year-old Cuban shortstop. And the 0-1 hit foul back behind the plate. Boy, Diaz, a breakout story last year, all-star. He was terrific. He crushed right-handed pitching. He slugged .510 and 17 home runs. He will bat second for Mike Matheny this year. Dexter Fowler, formerly with the Cubs, was signed by St. Louis. He'll be their leadoff man. Diaz hitting second. Matt Carpenter will bat third. And the 0-2 got him swinging. Good pitch there from Gibson. Down and away. So Diaz strikes out. First punch out for Kyle, who averaged just 6 strikeouts per 9 last year. So 2 down for Randall Grichuk, who's in left field today.
What's key, I think, for Kyle and a lot of the guys on the pitching staff for the Twins is being able, because we don't have a lot of high-velocity starters, but you've got to be able to hit your spots, and I think that's been the focus point so far this spring, and that is they have to be able to hit their spots down and away.
Grichuk last year, a career-best 24 home runs. The Cardinals did that plenty. Last year, 225 home runs as a team. Winning 86 ball games, but missing out of the playoffs, which is breaking news. And the 1-0 pitch is popped up, playable, right center. Buxton Kepler over, and Buxton will call off Kepler, still charging and catching near his shoulder. And Gibson works an efficient 1-2-3 first inning. We have played 1/2 in Fort Myers. St. Louis 0, and the Twins coming up on your home for Twins baseball. Byron Buxton will lead off. The bottom half of the first inning for the Twins. Beautiful day. Temperatures around 80 degrees. Winds out of the east at 16 miles per hour. Buxton 2 for 12 so far in the spring. Here's the leadoff spot yet again today. John Gant is pitching for St. Louis. Buxton swings and bangs one into the wind, right center field. Has some carry, but Tommy Pham has a play. Won't track it down. In right center for out number 1. Well, John Gant, tall kid, right-hander. Came to the Cardinals for the Atlanta Braves in the Jaime Garcia trade. Gant, 23 years old. A year ago with Atlanta, Gant appeared in 20 games, made 7 starts. Kind of a spot start for Gant today. Trevor Rosenthal was scheduled to start today, but he has a sore lat. And he was scratched, giving Gant the start today against the Twins. Joe Mauer batting second. Fastball strike call. Gant, his fastball at 93. Joe appearing in his 3rd Grapefruit League game. He's 0 for 4 so far. Miguel Sano on deck. From the stretch, and the 0-1 is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe last year 11 homers, 49 knocked in. Tapered off after the leg injury in August, but he got off to a tremendous start a year ago. And now the 1-1 is in the dirt. Kind of lost in the start the Twins had. The Twins weren't pitching well, they weren't hitting well, but number 7 was. He was about the only bright spot offensively to start the year last season. And we'll see how it plays out. Who's going to back up Joe at first base? Kenny Vargas of Byung-Ho Park, even Ben Paulson in that conversation. And 1 out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit right center for Mauer. First hit for Joe this spring. And there's the first base runner today. A 1-out knock for Mauer. And the batter is Miguel Sano. And Danny, something we touched on the other day, and we'll see how this plays out. But you know, Buxton's been batting leadoff quite a bit. Mauer in the 2, 3. We'll see how that plays out. Where does Dozier, where does Sano kind of fit in as you begin to piece together the Twins lineup?
Well, I think if Buxton can handle that leadoff spot, he gets on base, he gives you that stolen base threat.
Sano bangs one foul. Good swing on a fastball, knocked it right off the screen behind the plate. 0-1.
And what it does is it's going to give you more opportunities early in a ball game. If Buxton get on, he can turn that either a walk, infield hit into a double because he's so capable of stealing that base. And now you've got options. If Mauer's in that 2 slot, be able to get him over, get him in. And then you've got probably Dozier and then maybe Sano in the 4 slot.
Righty to righty. 1 out, 1 on. No score, bottom 1. Gant to Sano. And the 0-1 is up and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, the other thought is that Dozier leads off. And then you'd leave Buxton. Remember at the season last year, hitting at that number 9 spot did well. Because now once that lineup turns over, now you've got Buxton at the bottom going to get on for Dozier. But then you probably got Mauer still in the 2 slot. Maybe the shortstop Polanco. But there's options there for Molitor.
And the 1-1 off speed strike called from Gant. 1 and 2. And you think about what defines the prototypical leadoff hitter. It's almost becoming a phrase that doesn't have to be so common in the game today. You know, Brian Dozier, I guess, is not the prototypical leadoff hitter, but he's still so effective in that spot. Manny Machado in that same conversation. 1 and 2 on Miguel. And the pitch is sent foul again off the screen behind the plate.
You know, we were talking earlier, and I know Dozier 42 home runs. Didn't you say he hit 30 of those solo shots?
I believe I looked that up this morning. 30 of the 42 were solo.
So that tells me that the guys in that 8-9 slot aren't coming around and getting on base for Dozier to kind of get some home runs with men on base.
And Dozier's numbers, they did drop off. If you would just break down other spots he hit in the lineup, he thrived in that number 1 spot. Mauer leads a short lead. Here's the 1-2 off speed low. Miguel not chasing. Change of pace that time from Gant. 2 and 2. Twins today the home whites, white tops, white pants. Twins in the front in blue and red. Also that gold trim, blue cap, blue bill. The Cardinals Red bird, red top, red cap, red bill, gray pants. Sano 25 homers last year, and the 2-2 slider low kicks away from Fryer, but not far enough for Joe to try. So it's full 3-2 with Kepler on deck. Something we saw a ton of with Sano really going back to 2015. A great eye at the plate. He had a really, not just slugging, but also on base percentage was a big strength for Miguel. A good eye at the plate. Did taper off a little bit last year. See if Mauer's staying here. 3-2 he is. With one out, the pitch has popped up into shallow right. Piscotty did not see it initially. Now sprinting to his left. The wind playing havoc with it, but Piscotty makes the catch in foul territory. Get a second out. That's a tough play on a day like today for any outfielder. Piscotty, upon contact, he had his arms out to his side. No idea where it was. He sprinted a long way, caught that ball in foul territory off the right field line for round number 2.
Well, you talk to all the players that play at this ballpark here in daytime here. It's real tough. You got a lot of white shirts, the backdrop. You don't see that ball initially off the bat. Covered a lot of ground to get that. That wind pushed that ball in foul territory.
Kepler batting fourth today in right. So Max with a good day a couple of days ago here. A couple of doubles. As Gant steps off and checks on Mauer at first. Back in standing. Kepler's 17 home runs a year ago. And with 2 outs, here's the pitch. Off speed from Gant. It's high.
Look, you always hear about, 17 homers last year for Kepler. Great year. I was impressed, but more so with his defense. I thought that he showed that he's major league ready defensively, but what he did offensively was a plus. And you always talk about, well, we'd hope he builds on that. If he could give you 17 home runs again, that's going to be right where I think you want him.
And the 1-0 pitch has popped up foul. We have seen Max, Danny, in the last several years in camp, and the comp was always Justin Morneau. There was always that name that you felt was attached to Max, his makeup, his swing, his body. Does that still apply now in 2017?
It does, but we've seen Kepler from a young kid come over here from Germany and then just kind of grow into this body, but also the maturity that this kid has shown also.
Score bottom 1, 2 outs. Mauer at first, and the 1-1 to Max. Fastball tight, inside ball 2.
But if you watch Kepler get in the batter's box, very quiet. You see a lot of guys that are pretty fidgety, a lot of hand movement, a lot of rocking, but not Kepler. Kepler gets in there real quiet, kind of a soft approach to hitting. He has that slight open stance.
Bumps that bat off his left shoulder. Good count for Max. 2-1. And here it comes. It chops one to the right side. It'll be the second baseman long fielding under and toss. Close play at first. And with Gant, the pitcher, covering in time for round number 3. Well defended that time by St. Louis. The pitcher, Gant, knew where the ball was. He got over to cover. And the play goes 4-1, ending the inning. Twins don't score, get a hit, lead 1 after 1. Twins and Cardinals.
Mulch.
Twins and the Cardinals. Packed house. 3,000 today at the CenturyLink Sports Complex. A lot of Cardinal fans are here. No score after one. Stephen Piscotty will be the St. Louis right fielder this season. Batting cleanup today and is defending in right. Takes a Gibson pitch down and away. Ball one. Piscotty 22 home runs. First round pick back in 2012. Knocked an 85 a year ago. 1-0 from Gibson. A swing and a foul. That one's going to ricochet off Castro behind the plate. One ball and one strike. St. Louis won 86 games last year. As I said, missed out of the playoffs, which is unusual. St. Louis has been to the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years. Castro sets up over the plate, and now the 1-1. Breaking ball, good pitch, strike two call. Danny, here's something amazing. I think many view the Cardinals as maybe the model organization in baseball because of their stability, and they draft well, they scout well, they develop well.
They trade well, too.
They trade really well. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Piscotty, and he swings and crushes one but foul deep to left. How about this? The last 17 years, St. Louis has been under 500 only once. They finished one time a season where they were under 500 the last 17 years.
And that's with a lot of turnover of players. Just to show you how you were talking about it, they scout well. They get people in here that kind of give them a second chance sometimes. And even though they lose some players, they rebuild. They get some good quality players back. And you know, Dexter Fowler, perfect example here. It was in Holiday that he left, and they replaced him with Fowler in center field.
John Mozeliak, the GM with the Cardinals. And the 1-2 pitch, bouncing ball right side, backhand pick by Escobar, turns and throws out. Piscotty threw the out. Good play by Escobar to his right. That ball was scalded. Escobar to his right, and a backhand pick, spun around, had time to get Piscotty for round number 1.
Well, that's what you're seeing. That's what you want to see out of Escobar right there. Be able to slide over the other side of the diamond there. He'll tell you that he's more comfortable on the left side, short and third. But right there, that's a reaction play. Ball's hit so hard, my reaction is a couple of steps to my right, get into that backhand position. And he knew he had plenty of time because that ball was hit so hard.
There's Jed Jerko at third base today as he takes down low for a ball. Second round pick by San Diego. Jerko was in 2010. Then was acquired from the Padres for John Jay after the 2015 season. And the 1-0 pitch is bounced foul. He pulled it. Jerko last year hit 30 home runs. And I saw that number today. I saw 30 home runs. I expected a big RBI number, but only 59. 18 of his 30 of the solo variety. But Jerko had a monster second half. Big offensive second half. And the 1-1 check swing and a breaking ball. The appeal did not go. Now 2-1. Cardinals still have Johnny Peralta. And the 2-1 pitch is bounced to third. This is Sano from foul territory. Long throw dug out by Joe and tags out the chest of Jerko. So Sano had plenty of time off target, and Mauer alertly came off the bat to field that one-hop throw and then tagged out Jerko on his chest for round number 2. Good play by number 7.
Real good play, and if you're an infielder, you have the confidence to go ahead and kind of short hop one over there, knowing that you've got somebody over there that can pick it out of the dirt. Bauer read that well. Not an easy play to come off the bag up the line with that base runner coming by. So good play there all around.
2 down for Tommy Pham, who's in center field today. As the pitch hits the inside corner for a strike. Pham played left. He played some center last year. And kind of move around a little bit with Richard at left, Fowler in center, Piscotty in right. And now the 0-1 pitch, a weak ground ball foul. That'll hit the grass of the Twins' third base dugout. No score in the second. Oh, 2 on Pham. Gibson has struck out 1. so far today since Castro and Nod. The high leg kick and the 0-2 down and away. Off speed from Kyle that time. Also on the pitching list today, Brandon Kinsler, Taylor Rogers, Buddy Boshears, JT Chagua, Ryan O'Rourke, Jake Reed. Among those scheduled, the 1-2 outside 2-2. Fernando Romero, Felix Jorge, Alex Wimmers, all on the pitching list today. Two and two on Tommy Pham. And the Cardinals' second no score, 2 outs. And here it comes. Breaking ball, low, ball 3. Gibson at 28 pitches so far. Is ahead now behind 3-2. And the payoff grounded foul past third. Well, the Twins open the 2017 regular season at Target Field against Kansas City on Monday, April 3rd. And the first 30,000 fans will receive a Twins long sleeve hooded tee courtesy of your local Northland Ford dealers. Go to twinsbaseball.com to get your tickets today. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Tommy Pham, and the payoff chopped to short. Polanco charging, gloving, setting, and throws out the runner. And Gibson is perfect through 2. Head to the home second in Fort Myers. Twins nothing, Cardinals nothing. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Score bottom 2. Twins will bat. Good day to be out in the berm in left field today. A big gathering out there today.
Another sellout today here. The Twins had a big sellout, I think, on Saturday against Toronto. Standing room only here today.
Young Ho Park leads off the Twins' second. Park 5 for 12 so far this spring with a couple of home runs as John Gant misses up and inside ball 1. Should have another big crowd here on Wednesday night. And we'll have that for you, a simulcast. Twins will host Team USA. The World Baseball Classic. And the 1-0 on Park is at the knees. A fastball strike called. Matt Carpenter mentioned his name earlier. He's now going to be the first baseman with St. Louis. He was scheduled to be on the WBC team, but no longer the case. He's been bothered by a sore back. And a 1-1. Curveball inside on Park, ball 2. Trevor May is going to start that game for the Twins. Have not seen. He will get the nod for Team USA. And the 2-1 pitch, check swing, liner, foul back behind the plate. 2-2 on Park. WBC is underway. Those players left today. In fact, those that will be a part of Team Puerto Rico. Over Santiago, Jose Barrios, among others. Kenny Vargas, Eddie Rosario. The 2-2 line foul to right. Will train in Arizona as a team and then open up their first round in Mexico. Last time there was a WBC, the Twins had a couple of representatives on Team USA. Glenn Perkins, Joe Mauer. 2-2 on Park. And here's the pitch. Foul back. Well, Gant's got a slight pause in his action, in his delivery. Play with the timing of the hitters.
A little bit, but I think Park, having played in Korea, this is how normally the Asian players, pitchers throw, as they have that little bit of a hitch in their delivery.
The 2-2 just missed inside, not by much. Ball 3 on Park.
Just like pace. He lifts that left leg up about belt high and then sets it back down, stops, a little bit of a rocket, and then he starts it all over again.
Jason Castro on deck, and then Jorge Polanco. Full count on Park, and the payout pitch fouled back. He got one there to hit, and Park got under it. Fastball at 93 that said hit me.
Really mess him up if you're anticipating him to set that leg down, and this time all of a sudden he doesn't. Almost like a quick pitch.
So again, the 3-2 check swing. It's strike 3. That was a strike anyway. Not so much on the swing from Park, and fastball about letter high. Good job there from Gant. Struck out 49 men. Did walk 21 in 50 innings last year with Atlanta. So 1 out for Castro, the new Twins catcher. He's been busy so far this spring. He has been in the lineup a ton. Steps in from the left side. Here it comes. Fastball is up and inside. Ball 1. Castro today appearing in his 6th game. He has 10 at bats so far. And the 1-0 pitch is in the dirt. We mentioned this earlier in the spring, that the Twins' all-time record for most at-bats in one spring training, set by Kirby Puckett. It was about 95 or 96, and I saw this morning, Danny, 11 years ago today, Kirby died.
Passed away 11 years ago today. Yep, we lost a good one. And you still walk around this ballpark, you still see signs of Puckett.
Castro is swinging a pop-up, shallow left. This will be Randall Grichuk, sunglasses on. He'll squeeze it. Round number 2.
And I don't mean just there's a great mural of Puckett out back by the minor league complex with him making that great catch up against the plexiglass. Words we'll see you tomorrow night. But also, you look in the dugout when you see a Torrey Hunter, he was impacted by a Kirby Puckett. You know that Buxton being impacted by Torrey Hunter, so that torch is being passed along. And names and stories still flow when you run into some players of that era.
Breaky ball low and inside on Polanco. I was reading some of those stories today, and you think back, 91 World Series and Kirby's line, get on my back before game 6.
Just remember, he used that line every night.
That's the point. That's what Ken Herbeck was saying, is that it wasn't just before game 6. And the 1-0 on Polanco was lifted foul. Now, if he was out of the lineup for a game, Randy Bush would jump in and say, hey, boys, get on my back. And Ken Herbeck would say, don't get on my back. I'm too fat and too sore. I'm hurt. Leave me alone. Great memories reading about Puck earlier today. 1 ball, 1 strike on Polanco. No score about him, 2. As he lifts one foul, slicing out of play, 1-2.
99 at bats, though, in a spring training. I think that was him wanting them and make all these road trips. And usually when you're a veteran player, you usually can kind of choose and pick what road trips you kind of want to go on. The manager sometimes will come to you, but not with Puck. Puck always wanted to make those road trips.
1-2 misses outside, 2-2.
And his belief was that you know, the visiting fans, they want to see me too. You know, you travel with a team and all of a sudden, hey, where's Joe Mauer? You know, where's all your superstar players?
2-2 in the dirt, ball 3. That's certainly more of a problem if you train down here as opposed to Arizona, where the teams are bunched together. You are much more likely to see,
yes,
you know, the star players out in Arizona, but you know, down here that's not the case. Now the Cardinals brought plenty of regulars today. You can't knock St. Louis and their travel roster today. And the 3-2 pitch. Polanco skies one into shallow right. Charging in Piscotty. Wong out, and Piscotty will make the catch about 15 feet out into the grass in shallow right center. As the wind knocked that one down and then some. And John Gant works in 1-2-3 seconds. So after 2, still scoreless on your home for Twin Baseball.
Big on fresh, low on price. Wild Blues, Tuesday at 6:30 on Fox Sports North.
Scoreless game after 2. Al Gibson perfect through 2. He has struck out 1. Chad Huffman with the Tigers last year in their minor league system, AAA all year. He's at first base today. Bats right-handed. Takes a fastball down and inside. Ball 1. Wisdom DHing on deck, and then former Twin Eric Fryer doing the catching today, batting 9th. And the 1-0 is on the outside corner. First strike called. Slider from Gibson. Haven't seen a curveball yet. So a change-up, fastball, slider. Gibson his 3rd spring training start. And the 1-1 took something off there. That's a strike call, 1-2. More of a slider than a curve. Gibson, when he is on, he always pitches with a good tempo. He likes to work quickly. Doesn't waste too much time. And the 1-2 is outside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gibson, 98 career starts. For the sign, he wants it in. And the 2-2 is lined into center softly. Buxton charging, reaching down, slides and makes the catch. Buxton's first step was in. And Rick that hit the grass and made a catch. A nice one at that on a sinking line drive, taking it away from Chad Huffman.
Got a great jump on that. He read that right off the bat. Not an easy play, but I like the commitment by Buxton, one of their best. That's not an easy play. That Superman dive straight in. Get your glove underneath it. Pretty good contact.
So one down. Buxton makes the play. Now Wisdom, the DH. It's right-handed. As Gibson misses outside. Ball one. The Twins have to be better defensively. You can knock the pitching, and that's fair. But the Twins did not catch the ball well. They did not field the ball well last year. And with the way the outfield looks on paper, the 1-0 is inside. It should be a very good outfield with speed, with the ability to catch it, to throw. Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, that's a really good outfield.
Yeah, if I'm on a pitching staff and you got outfielders like that are young, have good speed, feel pretty good about yourself. But don't forget, Twins not a strikeout team, so you're not going to get a ton of strikeouts per game. So you are going to rely on that defense, and more so, I think, in the infield, because everybody we talk to, other than I think Hughes is a fly ball pitcher, Santana, but Gibby's supposed to be a ground ball type pitcher, so you need to use your infield.
First base runner for St. Louis, a 4-pitch walk to Wisdom. And now Eric Fryer, former Twin, wearing number 41 now with the Cardinals. A chance to catch up with Eric during St. Louis's BP today. He split time with both the Cardinals and the Pirates last year, 60 games. And well, he had a blast learning from Yadier Molina, understandably so, among the best to ever catch at the big league level. As Eric takes outside, ball one. Fryer 60 games total last year. Cardinals Pirates at 267.
He fits that mold, and when you got a manager like Mike Matheny that is a former catcher, not only are you going to learn from Molina, but also as the manager.
There's a pitch at the knees for a strike called on Fryer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pleased to welcome in a special guest, Francesca Donlin, Communications Director, Lee County Visitors and Convention Bureau, is kind enough to join us here as the Cardinals bat in the 3rd inning of a scoreless game. Runner goes, and the pitch is bounced 2/3. Sano knocks it down. Now bare hands it, fires a seat across, and Mauer with a great dig at the back end for out number 2. A rocket hit to Sano, ate him up, but stuck with it. Then it bounced off his arm or his glove, and then he caught it in his right throwing hand. Unleashed a big-time throw that was low, but Joe made a great play to scoop it up cleanly for the out. So 2 down. Wisdom was running, so he's at second base, and the batter is Colton Wong. So Francesca, great way to welcome me back to the booth, watching a nice play here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day, beautiful time of year, and I'm sure things are very busy for you and your group.
They are very busy. I can tell by looking at this crowd out here today.
Colton Wong bounced out to short. No, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. A drive into right center field in the gap. That's going to get down for a base hit and score a run. Kepler gets it back in. It's going to be a single for Wong, but Wisdom scores 1-0 St. Louis. As the Cardinals cash in on the walk. And the Redbirds lead by 1. But Francesca, this time of year, it's spring training, it's spring break, it's a variety of things that makes Southwest Florida so popular, correct?
Absolutely. You cannot beat weather like this in March. It is gorgeous out there. And you can't beat the beaches either.
Because there's more to baseball. I mean, baseball is great, but people are looking to get the most out of their trip down here. Yeah. What are some of your favorites outside of baseball? What do you recommend?
Outside of baseball, I recommend going to see dolphins, heading straight to the 50 miles of sandy white beaches and getting wet and going to see animals at play.
Now, where can you see the dolphins? Where's the top spot?
Well, I would head out to Sanibel Captiva, but Fort Myers Beach, just get to the coast, and if you can, get on a boat.
Aledmus Diaz swings and misses. Off speed that time from Gibson. No balls and 1 strike. St. Louis on top 1-0. Colton Wong stole 7 bases last year. He takes his lead with 2 down. Righty to righty. As Gibson steps off and throws low, but Joe made the catch over at first base, and Wong is still in safely.
And when you talk about going out and seeing the Dolphins get in a boat, does that mean you're going to see them? Is there that many? Is there certain locations you need to talk to a guide?
No. You can just go out there and see them. You can actually get a nice beach chair, go out to Captiva, sit down, and I say watch the dolphin show.
Snap throw back to first. It's close, and Wong just got back in. A slider that was up and away. Castro caught it, had a good angle, A good throw down to first base, but Wong just got back before Mauer applied the tag. It's 1-1. I'm sorry, Francesca, go ahead.
It's okay. I was just talking about the Dolphin show. So yeah, you can just grab a beach chair, grab a Corona or something Florida ale like, and you can actually watch him swim by and jump. It's fantastic, and it's fantastic every time you see it.
The 1-1 is bounce foul. Grain Belt Northeast is also some of our favorites, but you know, if you're coming down here and you want to get away from the spring break chaos, where are some other destinations that say families or bring kids come down? Where could they go?
Yeah, I would once again, I would say once you get over the bridge onto Sanibel Island and Captiva Island, you are far, far away from all the noise and the crowds. You are in paradise, truly. I would go that way.
The 1-2 is outside.
What about the Everglade trips? We've always wanted to kind of get on those boats and get out there and see that. I think you see, you know, no dolphins, but I think a lot of the gators are out there.
Yeah, they got the airboats, and they go fast. You put the headphones on so you don't hear anything, and you are speeding through the mangroves. It's wonderful, and you will see alligators. In fact, I think there was some interesting story about an alligator that was grabbing some food, and
they got Wong picked off. He's going to try to beat Mauer towards second base, and Joe's going to flip to Polanco, and he's going to tag out Wong, and the Twins pick off Colton Wong. Francesca, is there a website people could look at to get some more information?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've got an amazing website on Fort Myers, FortMyersSanibel.com. And it's actually, you can look at our travel guide there in different languages as well. So it's one for everyone.
All right, well, Francesca Donlin, we thank you for the time. Sorry the inning was so quick, but best of luck to you and your group here in the spring.
Thank you so much.
We thank Francesca Donlin for her time. The Cardinals score a run on a hit. They lead 9 after 2.5, and now reach St. Louis 1, Twins nothing on your home for Twins baseball.
Twins spring.
New pitcher for the Cardinals, wearing number 99, Jacob Woodford, is on work for the Cardinals. As we went to commercial break, Mike Matheny was out chatting with one of the umpires for a long time about the third out that ended the Cardinal third inning a moment ago. And Danny, we were chatting. You think he had a point that obstruction should have been called on Joe as he made contact with Wong?
Yeah, he did make contact with him, and I think he was talking with the first base umpire. Second base umpire said no, but he had a different angle. But there was definite contact as Wong tried to kind of go down as Mauer gave that ball up to the infielder, made contact with Joe.
So Stubbs is batting. Stubbs in the number 8 spot today in left field.
And you don't see too many arguments during spring training like that, but I think it was just a planting the seed here, getting a ruling as to what this particular umpire saw. and a definition of the rule, and you know, he felt that it did not hinder the base runner. He was going to be out anyway, but still, anytime there's contact like that.
2-1 outside, missed the corner, ball 3. An obstruction is defined as a runner and a defender who's no longer engaged in the play make contact with one another. And the 3-1, strike 2 called.
You know, and we were always taught when we do these base running drills, as you're the base runner, once that fielder, like you said, gives up the ball, he's no longer involved in the play. Now as you stop, as the base runner, you trying to turn around and find that fielder. That's why they're taught to peel out of the way.
Chop wide of third, gloving, spinning, and dug out of the back end by Huffman. Jerko gloved it to his left in the hole. It's short, did a 360 spin, a one-hop throw. And the Cardinals, who were not great defensively last year, that was an issue for St. Louis. They played the part well there, 1 out.
Well, Johnny Peralta, it looks like he's going to be playing a lot of third base for the Cardinals with their new shortstop, Elamides. He's a fine defender, so they've moved Peralta over to third base.
One down, Eduardo Escobar pokes one foul.
But I think everybody has a little bit of trouble with it. When you don't field the balls that you're supposed to make, it's going to show up with the win-loss column. Even though these guys here, 86 wins last year, but look at what the Cubs did. They're in a tough division.
And the 0-1, a smash up the middle, base hit center field. Escobar picks up his second hit this spring, now 2 for 17. Twins have their second hit off the Cardinals today. 1-0 St. Louis. Second time through now. Here's Buxton.
Here's what the Twins would like to see out of Escobar, and that is, okay, 1 out, bottom of the order here, or now top of the order, but is to see if Escobar can actually steal some bases. He's never been a good base stealer. He does have good speed, but it usually takes him 3 to 5 steps to get up to his top speed.
Let's see if Buxton shows bunt. This point of this at bat is Woodford throws it away, checking on the runner at first base. Escobar to second, holding there. He won as Huffman had no chance. That throw was off target from the get-go. And the throwing error now moves Escobar into scoring position. So I thought about the bunt a moment ago. Still in play now, 1 out, a man second.
No, you want to drive the run in. You're down 1-0 here. Don't leave it to the guy in the on-deck circle. You pick up the money. But again, a ball in the dirt could advance Escobar, but Buxton here's the at-bats I think that the Twins are really going to kind of watch here. Second time to line up, even though he has a different pitcher. But you want to be able to drive in this run here.
Righty to righty. And here it comes, and Buxton is showing bunt, pulled it back, pitch was up and inside. He saw the corner infielders playing back, especially the third baseman Jerko.
Well, if you're going to bunt that situation and you're successful, then you're going to have first and third, 1 out, double play in order. So I would hope then that Buxton would try to steal second to stay out of the double play.
Escobar at second base, 1 out, Twins trailing by 1 from the stretch, and the 1-0. Buxton does bunt past the mound right side. This is a base hit all the way. It got by the mound. Colton Wong picked it up, but he had no chance anywhere. On single, Byron Buxton. And what a skill that is. Put the ball on the ground, his speed, forced the defense to be perfect. And Buxton put that ball, Danny, in a perfect spot.
Well, I liked how he showed it. The angle, it looked like he was going to try to bunt the ball down the third baseline. And that's what the infielders and the pitcher are reading, the bat angle. Okay, it looks like he's going to bunt it down third base. And at the last minute, just taking the handle and pushing it out a little bit, changes the bat angle. And now all of a sudden, he just walked into it and pushed it right toward the second baseman.
Now we'll see if Buxton does try to steal second base.
Because now double plays in order with Mauer.
First and third, Buxton stays as Joe looks down low. Ball 1. Is Buxton at the point where he has the green light to bunt whenever he wants? Or does that still have to come from the dugout?
No, I think that Buxton, he's on his own and when he should bunt. And sometimes there's a sign, hey, the bunt's open if you want to take it. But also I think Buxton is also kind of getting the green light early in spring training as to when to run, when not to run.
Takes his lead, doesn't go. The 1-0 on Joe, not close. Almost looked like a pitch out. 2-0. Snow on deck. But Jake Woodford, Danny, is a guy the Cardinals really like. He's only 20 years old, first-round pick. And he is a starter in their system and a name to remember.
2 balls and no strike. This is a good hitting count for Joe, but also might be not paying much attention to Buxton over there at first.
Q. Woodford steps off and does throw over to first, and Byron back in. Mauer was asked recently about where he would like to hit in the order. He said, I like to bat with guys on base. And he's in that situation right now. Sitting pretty 2-0 with one out. Buxton stays, and the pitch, fastball ran off the outside corner, ball 3. Nothing doing right now in the Twins bullpen. Cal Gibson seems to be destined for the 4th inning. Cardinals a double play depth. One out first and third. The 3-0 is a 4-pitch walk, high and away. And Joe is on. That'll load him up for Sano. John Gant went 2 innings, by the way. No runs, a hit. And a strikeout. Sano flied out to right. Back of the opening inning. Bases loaded, one out. Twins have a great chance here. Trailing 1-0 in the home third. And the pitch is fouled back off speed from Woodford that time.
Pretty good swing right there by Sano. Usually earlier in the count, you're not wanting to hit that breaking ball, but he might have been looking for that pitch because he walked around after he swung and maybe a little upset that he got a pitch to handle there and just fouled it off.
Sano, over his big league career with the bases loaded, has 1 hit. And the 0-1 swings and misses 0-2. This is rather surprising. He's 1 for 13 in his career with the bases loaded.
Now has to protect here. Let's see if Woodford kind of comes right after him. He got that fastball there elevated up.
Kepler on deck. Bases loaded, 1 out in the home third, and the 0-2 high. Ball 1.
Fryer catching. I think he knows a little bit about Miguel Sano's swing and approach.
Fryer now 31 years old. Pitcher Woodford is 20. And a 1-2 breaking ball, not chased by Miguel. Good check there. And 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sano, a 25 home run season last year. Despite missing some time with a few different injuries a year ago. And the 2-2, ball 3. So Sano's come back. And now it's full. Does he get a fastball here, Danny? Bases loaded?
Well, he likes to go to that breaking ball right here. I don't know enough of this kid here, Woodford, to know that what he likes to throw in this situation if he can command the breaking ball. But Sano's got that luxury. He's seen the breaking ball. He's seen the fastball. Timing should be down on both of them.
Escobar at third, Buxton at second, Mauer at first, 1 out. And the 3-2 check swing foul. Pitch ran inside and just above the hand. Sano made contact. And we'll do it again, 3-2. Cardinals have a left-hander throwing in their bullpen. A 20-pitch inning, only 1 out for Woodford. Again, the 3-2, a swing and a high pop-up on the infield. Near short, infield fly is called. The shortstop calling and catching, that's Diaz. And Sano pops out. So it's going to be up to Max Kepler. And a fastball there.
Yeah, up a little bit, just got under it, trying to sometimes do too much. Sometimes you get in those situations, Corey. You work on it every day in practice. You alter your swing by trying to hit the sac fly rather than you still want to stay on top of it. I want to hit this ball hard somewhere on a line drive rather than, okay, I need to get this fly ball. I need to get this sac fly. And just that thought process right there, I'd rather have you stay with hit something hard on a line drive.
Two down. Kepler. He bounced out his first time. He swings and pops this one up foul. Third base side. That will reach the pack stands. Well, we had Francesca Donlin on from Lee County a moment ago, and another reminder that you can say goodbye to winter in Minnesota and join us down here in spring training. Beautiful beaches in Fort Myers and Sanibel. Experience Florida's most natural beaches and islands at FortMyersSanibel.com. Righty to lefty. Woodford to Kepler, and the 0-1 in the dirt. Knocked down by Fryer. Good play. Not a veteran catcher. 1-1.
I think Fryer, he did so well last year. A lot of it has to do with the foundation he had from here with the Twins organization. And then you go over to an organization like the Cardinals. Fundamentally strong organization the Cardinals are. And he was already well groomed. He landed in a great spot.
And the 1-1 is inside. Cardinals have a young catcher they love named Carson Kelly. But he's in that same mold maybe with Mitch Garver. Is he better suited to be an everyday player than Yadier Molina plays just about every day.
Yeah, Molina, 14 years I was reading that. What a career. And he's still on top of his game.
2 balls and 1 strike on Kepler. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And the pitch high, ball 3.
Well, Kepler's got to sit on a fastball right here and look for a certain location. Anything else, you have the luxury with the count 3-1 to lay off.
And the 3-1. He takes strike 2. Got a fastball.
I think it was something that, a little running fastball. Kepler asking him, he thought that was the top of the strike zone. And home plate umpire fielding cold breath, having a conversation, saying, yeah, that was probably as high as he'll go.
But that's traveling time here.
It's not a good pitch you want to go after. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Runners will be off. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and the 3-2. Kepler pops it up. Playable, shallow left. Racing in Grichuk still coming near the line. He sees it and catches it, and the Twins squander a scoring chance. They do not score. They lead 3, and after 3, Cardinals maintain a 1-0 lead. From Fort Myers, this is Twins Baseball. Brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. See your local Chevy dealer or log on to ChevyDealer.com today. After 3, Cardinals 1, Twins nothing. The 4th is on. Danny Gladden, all you.
Thank you, Corey. Good afternoon, everybody. The Alamedes, he's fine-looking shortstop leading off. He struck out his first time up. Takes a fastball from Kyle Gibson on the outside corner. There's a strike. Gibby starting the 4th inning. He's given up 1 run on 1 hit. Swung and foul tipped. And now no balls and 2 strikes. Alamedes last year played in 111 ball games, 300 average, did hit 17 home runs. So you've got a shortstop that can field it, but also some good power. And a pitch blocked in the dirt by Castro. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 up 1-0. Had 1 out walk to the number 8 hitter, the DH Wisdom. They had a hit and run with Fryer. He advanced to second and scored on a base hit. Swung on and missed. Alamedes 2 strikeouts, and he looked bad on that pitch there. Slider well out of the zone. Batter's going to be Grychek before he bats. We'll pause 10 seconds, allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Twins Baseball. One out, base is empty. 1-0 Cardinals. Just 1 hit. Gibby's looked well. And runs it up and in on him. Had to jackknife out of the way. Talked about the Cardinals last year. Led the National League, 225 home runs as a team. And this guy here had 24 of them. Fouls this one off to his right. And now 1 ball, 1 strike. 225 home runs. That led the National League, and they lost 48 home runs and 129 RBIs. Matt Holliday and Brandon Moss have left the Cardinals. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. Corey Provis will not reach out the window to make it. Did you think about it? And that could have been on.
Thought about it.
Yeah. Ball State's got you all dialed in right now, huh?
Got some friends from Ball State that are here today. Some students. Good to have them in town.
And they got a GoPro right on you. And I'm just wondering why, if this is a team broadcast, that it's you. Ground ball weekly hit. Blanco's been busy on the run. Comes up off balance. This one on target. So Mauer did not have to pick that one out of the dirt. 2 down.
4 words, Danny. As a wise man said many times. Check
The contract.
Brock.
Well, once you bring that contract, Brock, to the ballpark, and I'll check it out.
Sure.
So 2 down, bases empty. The Scotty Bats, another guy, pretty good numbers last year. Hit 273, 22 homers, 85 driven in. As Gibby delivers check swing foul, found his bat. Scotty with a slight open stance, bases empty, 2 down. Twins activated their bullpen, and Gibby trying to get through this 4th inning. Be a solid outing. Curve hit down the left field line, and that's going to be trouble. Be cut over by Drew Stubbs. He's going to backhand Piscotty, trying for 2. Throwing to second, and not in time. On target throw. And Escobar fielded, put the tag down, but Piscotty got the leg in there. So it'll go as a 2-out double. Stubbs went over, backhanded it like a shortstop, and Piscotty read that well. Tim Timmons making that call at second base. So they have an opportunity here to add on, already up 1-0.
It's Alex Wimmers throwing in the Twins bullpen right now.
And we've seen sometimes, most of the times that we've seen down here with Paul Molitor, and Wimmers just started throwing, so not sure how quickly he's going to be able to get loose. As he checks the runner at second, delivers, missed inside.
And Gibson's pitch count number maybe around 60 today. Is at 58 right now. This is 3rd spring training start.
And we've seen guys come out of the ball game with 2 down, bases empty, but yes, they are monitoring that pitch count. Ball way outside on a fastball. And now 2 balls and no strikes. But sometimes if it's a pitch count of 60, it could be, they could get through 4 innings, 3 innings, whatever the inning they'd like to see, and only throw 30 pitches. A lot of times they'll go down and finish the rotation off in the bullpen. He'll check the runner. Good lead. Piscotty at second. 2-0 pitch. Ground ball fielded by Gibby. Nice job. Waits for Mauer to get to the bag, and a little soft toss over to retire Yorko. 1 runner left, 1 hit, 3.5 complete, 1-0 Cardinals. We'll be back. You're listening to Truth Baseball.
Could your
CenturyLink Sports Complex, Twins taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals up 1-0, one in the top of the 3rd inning. As we start the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Byung Ho Park, Jason Castro, and Jorge Polanco, hitters 5, 6, and 7. Park went down looking his first time. A new pitcher for the Cardinals, familiar name, Jordan Schaefer, is on the mound. He's in camp as a pitcher/outfielder. And a first pitch down and away, fastball at 90 miles an hour. Watching him, he looks like a pitcher. He's got pretty good mechanics. He's pretty compact delivery. And a ground ball. There's a base hit left field. So Schaefer greeted with a Park leadoff base hit. Tying run on. And here's Jason Castro. Last year pitched a couple of ball games with the Dodgers. And minor league totals 1-1, 3.83 ERA, 49 in the 3rd innings pitched. Did give up 56 hits, 18 walks, 59 strikeouts. So something there. Boy, you don't see that too often. Make a ball club as a pitcher/outfielder.
He was telling me before the game today that in a recent Grapefruit League game, Schaefer was asked to pinch hit, drew a walk, scored a run. The next half inning, he was out to pitch. And you don't see that too often. But you said it, Danny. He has a really good chance to make this team as both, because he was hitting with the first group today during St. Louis's BP as a pitcher and an outfielder.
Pitch inside, turns it over at the kneecaps of Castro. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He said he hit about 93, 94 with his fastball late last season, all in the minor leagues with the Dodgers. But he's got a 4-pitch mix. All 4, the fastball, curve, slider, change. And
you know what I would tell him, if you're going to be pitching out of the bullpen situational, you don't need 4 pitches. You just need a couple of good ones and master those. But a lot of the lefty-lefty matchups, 1-1 pitch to Castro. Missed it again inside.
Schaefer did pitch in high school, and he did sign. He was, I think, a 2nd-round pick by Atlanta. But if he was going to go to college, he was going to Notre Dame to both pitch and work at the outfield. But the Braves said, no. You're going to be an outfielder. So that never came up during his time in the Atlanta organization.
Well, I think he was done as an outfielder, bouncing around. Pitch missed down and away, and now 3 balls and 1 strike. Just really didn't hit enough. Minnesota, he was .285 with 41 ball games. Then hit .217 in 2015 in 27 ball games. can run. He's got speed, and that's part of his game, so he's a good defender in the outfield. Big pitch here, 3-1. Foul down the left field line, run at full, 3-2.
Couldn't stay healthy, though, and that's what kind of really ended his Twins tenure rather abruptly. I want to say it was in June, as he was out with an injury and just never recovered from that.
But don't you think this is going to change how some teams might look at some of their better athletes that can play some defense and have a good idea of commanding the baseball and throwing it strikes? Pitch inside and missed, and went off speed there, and there's a walk, first and second. Polanco is going to bat, nobody out.
And if there's an organization that's been through this before, it's the Cardinals with Rick Yankees and even Lance Lynn, a former position player, now a pitcher. So there is some background that the Cardinals have. This is not a completely foreign idea with a player and try to do this with a member of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think there's more players that could probably do it. It's just a matter of, do you want to expose your player to either injury on the field, or I think most of these guys that are doing it were position players first. There's a bunt, and Schaefer one-hops it as he dives for it, comes up throwing, knowing it gets Polanco at first base. Polanco bunted. Not a good one. He popped it up. Schaefer dove for it and short-hopped it, but then got up and made the out. So the Twins have something going. I'm not sure if they're checking on Schaefer right now. Kind of made pretty good hard contact with the dirt. So it's going to be up to Drew Stubbs. Cardinals up 1-0. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Twins out hitting St. Louis 4-2. Talking earlier about when Sano was batting bases loaded, one out, how you alter your swing. Again, infield back. Anything hit hard on the ground up the middle, you're going to tie this ball game up. And he goes off speed, got the plate been low. Got the corner guys in, so a ground ball third or first, back to the mound. Byung-Ho Park, the runner at third base, going to have to check up. He's looking for that ball to get by the pitcher, or the shortstop, or the second baseman. And a slow tapper foul down the third base line, evens it up 1-1 strike. And these are things that when you take batting practice, you have a group of guys that are running the bases. These are the drills that you're working on right now.
This is also a situation to look at all the guys involved trying to impress their respective teams. Stubbs, second and third infield back, get that guy in, make contact. Schaefer, can you wiggle out of this in some way?
And here's 1-1. A high strike called by the home plate umpire, fielding Colbreth. Well, Schaefer being a left-hander, and his velocity's there, he doesn't have a lot of far arm extension in the back, so it doesn't reach real far back. He's kind of just throwing darts right by his ear, and now he's going to call timeout, ask his catcher Fryer to come out there. And here's sometimes you can overthink in a situation rather than just kind of reacting and chucking.
I was asking Fryer today about Schaefer as a pitcher. He said his breaking ball it just gets on people. It's rather surprising that he throws. He doesn't crush you with velocity, but he said his breaking ball.
And he's got a changeup. Watched him work on that changeup a lot. And here's the pitch, and there it was right there. Good off-speed pitch. And Stubbs goes down swinging.
That's his curve right there, right, Danny? 74.
It was off-speed. I thought it was more of a changeup, but it took a lot off it. It did have some tilt down to it. Yeah, watching the spin on that, it did look like it was a breaking ball, but it was up in the hitter's eyes, and all of a sudden ends up down and away. So it'll be up to Eduardo Escobar. He singled his first time up. Takes it outside and low ball one. Escobar, before that base hit, was 1 for 16 in 6 ball games. Escobar is going to hit. He's somewhat of a streaky hitter. He can kind of get on a roll and get a ton of hits with some power. Schaefer out of the stretch, and a fastball up and in, arches the back. 2 balls, no strikes. But with that, Escobar also can kind of stay in some prolonged slumps.
You got more heat than that. Let's go.
Good kid in the clubhouse. Escobar, well liked by all the teammates, coaches. And here's the pitch. Swung on, went off speed, popped up. Shallow left, shortstop out. Shortstop calling. And Jordan Schaefer pitches out of a jam here. Twins have had a couple of opportunities to tie this ball game up and have failed with runners on. We have completed 4. Still Cardinals 1. Twins nothing on your home for Twins baseball. Trail 1-0. We start the top half of the 5th inning. Gibby done for this afternoon. Kyle Gibson, outstanding day. 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. There's a 2-out base hit back in the 3rd inning. Did walk 1, had 2 punch-outs. So he'll give way to Twins closer Brandon Kinsler. 17 saves last year for the Twins. And looking at Kinsler's numbers, the numbers never had a save before in his big league career, and he spent 3-4 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. There's a righty. Right-hand comes in. Big swing and a miss. Tommy Pham, the center fielder, and then it'll be Chad Huffman, and then Wisdom, the DH. And with Perkins still on the shelf, Kinsler's got the job. Down and in, missed, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Kinsler's got enough deception, I think, in his delivery to be effective. And again, kind of a 2-pitch pitcher. And when you're that closer bullpen guy, that's all you need. And he's was on a roll last year. He pitched well. Here's the 1-1. Tap foul at home plate. And now ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think Kinsler, when he got in trouble, is when he was used in multiple games and trying to milk it and get a few more back-to-back games out of him. And with 17 saves last year, had 54 innings, just 35 strikeouts, only walked 8. Ball to dirt. Castros get beat up on that ball. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I wouldn't say that Kinsler is a big strikeout guy, but did give up 59 hits. And I think a lot of that was prior to him coming into that closer role. 2-2 on the way. Swung on, hit hard to left field. Stubbs right there. And that ball hit on a line drive. Well squared up. Hey, don't plan out the season. Flex it. With the flex plan, you're going to receive 20 tickets. Can be used for any ball game you wish, and you can also choose the ball games in advance or right up before first pitch. Flex Plan members also are going to enjoy all the benefits of a season ticket holder. To learn more, just visit twinsbaseball.com/flex. Corey's flexing right now in the radio booth, and it's a great sight. Swung on, 2-hopper to short. Blanco backs up, has to get a strong throw, and he does on target. So 2 down. Wisdom will bat.
He bought those tank tops in Boston last year. We put on a little show for Mike Pagliarulo.
I still have mine.
Yeah, me too.
You didn't? Did you pack it down here?
I did.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got that. I've got the Snook T-shirt. Got some gear down here.
Well, you guys don't even have to shop. You let Danny do the shopping for you, huh?
All the Harley Davidson.
Yep.
For Motorcycle Awareness Day and days.
I went by there the other day. We're going to reload on something. We'll have something down here. So you haven't changed in size, right?
No, still extra small.
Here's a strike. Good fastball in there to Wisdom, the DH. He walked, came around, scored the only run. 1-0 Cardinals here this afternoon. And Hammer is, he might be a different size. I have to check that out.
Smaller. He's a medium.
Huh?
Medium. That's good.
And a pitch. Tap foul and a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Medium, huh? So if I ask him if he's a medium, he'll say yes, or just get him a...
Maybe. I'd say medium, maybe a small large.
Small large.
Okay. Smart, yeah, I like that.
Well, what I can do is we can just meet over there and we can just try a bunch of stuff.
Fashion show.
Yeah, I just, you know, put it on my card, whatever you guys need.
As we often do.
Yep. Here's the 0-2 on the way on the dirt. Trying to get that breaking ball, get him to chase. Taylor Rogers scheduled to pitch today. We're going to see Buddy Boshears and Shagwa. Ryan O'Rourke, Jake Reed, Fernando Romero, Felix Jorge, and Alex Wimmers. Wimmers was up earlier, but sat down. Missed the plate. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Quite breezy yesterday in the South Florida area. There were some serious fires going on over by where I live, and they were talking about all the smoke and having trouble containing the fires. I'm sure that you weren't affected by that where you're at. And look out near the Twins dugout. Karam's right back out. Palatial place you guys stay at, boy.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it is. You always stay nice. Still a little breezy today, but it's kind of calming down a little bit.
We stay classy and we stay nice.
See, I'm the guy that's on the other side of the railroad tracks, right?
Yeah, your place stinks. I know it's a bad setup you've got.
Went off speed and missed. A run count full 3-2 as a closer, trying to work out everything.
You have a nice view of John Gordon's home down here, right?
I do.
Your setup?
Yeah, he's crossed a pond and a road. There he is. I mean, but I can binoc into his garage and stuff like that. Sure. He's been at the ballpark more now than he has the last 3 or 4 years. And a 3-2. Missed it. It's a 2-out walk. So Wisdom has walked twice here this afternoon, and that's going to get Eric Fryer to the plate. Have you seen John? You've seen John.
Yeah, he was here the other day. And I guess he's got a group coming back here Wednesday night.
Yep.
And then Kyle saw him yesterday at the basketball game as Florida Gulf Coast clinched the NCAA tournament bid. John Gordon was at that game yesterday at where? Alico Arena. Dunk City is back.
Yeah, they had a big run a few years back. A lot of excitement. See if I watched some highlights of that game. That was a pretty exciting ball game.
Did you stock up on a bunch of Dunk City gear a couple years ago when they made their tournament run?
When my wife came down, yeah, she made me drive over there, and of course pulled the card out, and she was a little disappointed because everything had been out of their school store. Pitch way outside. Boy, Castro stopped that one going to the backstop. So she had to buy some, I don't want to say secondhand, but I guess bootleg stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't the good stuff.
No, it was, because some of that stuff is pretty good, I think. But there was guys, off campus that, you pull up and they have boxes of that stuff and loaded up on that. A little bit of a discounted price as well, but still good material. Runner at first, 2 down, 1-0. The top of the 5th inning, Cardinals scored in the top of the 3rd. And boy, didn't miss by much. Fielding cold breath, tightening up that strike zone, and now 3 balls and no strikes to Eric Fryer. Fryer in his 5th game down here, Grapefruit League action, 2-6. Checks the runner and delivers right down Broadway. 3 balls and a strike. So we got the film crew from Ball State in here filming Corey on a GoPro, and then there's a larger gentleman. I thought to see the whales, she said, or the dolphins, that go down to the beach.
Down the water.
Go down the water. You got a dolphin in the booth right now. There's a quick throw over to first.
With the new haircut.
What do we got? We got Florida Jack. What do we call
I think it's Hollywood Jack.
Hollywood Jack.
This is a good look here. It's a new coif he's got.
Yeah.
Making himself at home here, as he should.
Absolutely. Runner goes, 3-1 pitch. Hit high in the air, center field. Fairly well. Buxton drifting back in front of the warning track. Plenty of room. And puts it away. So they strand 1. Twins coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're going to the refrigerator for a beverage. Twins trail 1-0 on your home for Twins baseball.
In the heart of New York City,
Go big or go home.
the stage is set for an act of redemption. Last year's national champions let the conference tourneys slip through their grasp. Now, Big East best go to battle again in college hoops' most legendary tournament. The Big East Tournament, Wednesday at 7 Eastern on FS1. We believe the best light beer to have with friends is the original light beer. Always brewed with more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. Miller Lite. Hold true.
Stop in and save big during Menards Made in the USA sale. Spend more time enjoying your deck and less time maintaining it with Ultra Deck. Low-maintenance composite decking gives you the look of real wood without the upkeep. Rustic comes in lengths of up to 20 feet and is available in gray, cedar, redwood, and hickory. Right now, 8, 12, and 16-foot lengths are $159 a linear foot. Find these and other big savings during the Menards Made in the USA sale.
Save big money at Menards.
This is a gorgeous car.
Chevy is getting a lot of attention at the auto show.
Check this out. This is sweet.
Beautiful truck.
I really like this.
Very cool.
I like the leather seats. Wow. Woo! I love this car.
Open the gate.
This is incredible.
Now get up to $1,000 auto show bonus cash on select models on top of most current offers. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities.
Twins Spring Training Baseball, Wednesday at 6 on Fox Sports North Plus.
Minnesota, 1-0 St. Louis, top of the order. Here comes Byron Buxton. New pitcher Mike Myers will come on, right-hander for the Cardinals. Buxton had a bunt base hit. Twins have a big opportunity back in the 3rd inning. Bases loaded. Just 1 out. That's Sano to pop up to the infield, and then Kepler flew out weakly to left field. And then they had an opportunity in the bottom of the 4th inning, 2nd and 3rd. And 1 out. As Buxton takes the first pitch from Myers, down and away, ball 1. Happy Jack Morris joins us here in the booth. Thanks for joining us. All slicked up.
Always a pleasure, Danny.
And a pitch down and away. You know, we were talking earlier in between innings here. You got to see Gibby, and there's going to be a lot of talk about Gibby in the offseason program that he kind of went to, and it's showing up a little bit, or at least it did here today for 4 innings.
Yeah, I've been reading about his new delivery and the new kind of program he has with the weighted ball and all that. and I got to see his delivery, and I thought it was slightly different. It looked like he was doing a better job of throwing downhill, you know, is what they want him to do, keep the ball down the zone. And for the most part, I thought he pitched well today.
Buxton bats with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes, nobody out. I thought what I like is he's hitting his spots. When he does miss, he's not missing by much. Line down the left field line, that's going to be extra bases if it's fair, and it is. Buxton can run into the corner, and it'll be a leadoff double. Buxton, boy, 3rd double of the spring. And left something off speed out in front. And he pulled it down the left field line. So with Mauer batting, let's see if the Twins get a run and tie this ball game up. I just liked how Gibby, the tempo. That's another thing I noticed is, and I'm kind of a big on tempo guy. Get the ball, get on the mound, get in a rhythm there, and I thought we saw that with Gibby today.
Well, and another thing, he's thrown to a new catcher, Jason Castro, and I think part of the reason the Twins like Castro, we heard him talk about the fact that he's a good framer. He can frame the ball. I think that fits right into a guy like Kyle Gibson, who misses a lot of pitches just off the plate. So if he can get a few from Castro, it should help him. They seem to work together well today.
Mauer bats with a nobody out runner at second, takes a first pitch fastball in there for a strike.
Yeah, Jack, I was going to ask you that. Something that came up a lot on Caravan. But, you know, being a former pitcher, the impact that a new catcher can have with the staff is what?
A lot. You know, Castro's a big kid, a lot like Mauer was, so there's going to be a lot of foul tips that he's going to receive off his body, and that might be a concern. Quite a bit bigger guy than Kurt Suzuki was, but with that being said, you know, they like the way he calls a game, the way he frames pitches, and you know, it's going to help some of the younger pitchers.
You know, and like you said about Gibby just misses some of these pitches with so much movement. You got a catcher that can frame it and keep it there to make it look like it's more of a strike than off the plate. And the flip side to that is you'll have the catchers that take strikes away. You can have a catcher that can receive the ball, and the way he receives it, he catches it and takes it out of the strike zone, so it does look like the ball is a ball. If Mauer can do something here, 1 ball, 1 strike, runner at second. Runs a fastball up and away, 2-1.
Jack, just down here today. When'd you get down here?
Yesterday afternoon. Yeah, a little responsibility with MLB.com today, this morning, and then post game we're going to do some stuff with the new general manager, Thad Aveen, and then over to the World Baseball Classic workout tomorrow for the USA team.
And then are you coming back to do the game on Wednesday night against the US team?
No, but I'll be listening to you guys. I hope you do a really good job.
Thank you.
I heard there was a foul tip that was trying to find a guy in the stands today, so I'll always be paying attention to stuff like that.
That was pretty close, wasn't it? That was just a few rows back.
For you, apparently.
Well, yeah, I wanted to carry him back, find you a little bit. Got a good idea where you're at here when you're in the ballpark, Jack. Thanks for calling us, letting us know you're coming down.
Did the double buckle shoes make a return trip down to Florida?
No, not. They're on hold right now.
Nice.
Going to be coming to Minneapolis.
They are retired, I hope.
No.
Big pitch, 3-1 to Mauer, and he takes a strike. So Mauer starting to take that shin guard. If you want to hit in this situation, you want to try to drive that run in, and fans arguing at the umpire right here. You want to hit, hopefully, in this situation, drive that run in, tie the game up.
And you got a guy with great speed at second base, so if you can just pull the ball to the right side, certainly put him in scoring position.
And there's the walk Mauer was looking for, so does set up the ground ball double play. And we're going to get a pinch runner. I believe that's Wolfert.
That's Dan Rolfing.
Dan Rolfing.
Hey, Jack, something that Danny and I brought up earlier. It's a sad day in Twins history. 11 years ago today, Kirby Puckett died. Does a certain memory of Kirby come to mind more than others?
Well, a lot of great memories. I'm sure Danny has as many or more than I do. But I happened to be working at WCCO at the time upon his death, and we had to go on live. And, you know, I was there for a couple hours having to talk about Kirby, and it was not the most fun day for anybody. But I always remember his actual death because of that. I was on air on radio.
Sano takes that first pitch down and in. First and second, nobody out. And a pitch way in. And now 2 balls and no strikes. Got the phone call here. Al Newman was one of the coaches, and as I got that call up here in the radio booth, went down and informed Al Newman, Jerry White, and we just kind of huddled up into the clubhouse up there and just could not believe it. That,
you know, one of the things that you talk about memories, there's always going to be great memories with a guy like Puck.
Big swing and a miss, went off speed, 2 balls and a strike.
But as I'm driving in here to Lee County Sport Complex, Hammond Field here today, I guess it's U.S. Cellular now, right? Excuse me,
CenturyLink.
We'll get it straight.
We'll edit this.
That's
later,
why I'm no longer on the radio. You know, I can't even remember our sponsors.
Yeah, I see.
But I saw a picture of Kirby's famous catch over there in the minor league complex, and that was kind of neat for me to see.
Do you have a street named after you yet here?
I was in front of you, Danny, and I know that really was a thorn in your side, but apparently there is a Gladden Avenue now, isn't there?
I know there is a Morris. I know there's Morris Boulevard right here, parking lot out front. Sure enough, there is a Jack Morris parking lane. But yeah, the Cupertino kid, quiet.
You know,
still.
You know, I don't care if it's even, you know, on the backfields back there. You have one of those portable streets.
Right. You don't care if yours is paved or not. It could be all gravel. That'd be fine.
Mine's dirt, Danny. It's dust.
Well,
and I didn't ask for it. I want you to know that. So don't look at me that way.
Well, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it does either.
Sano's batting with 2 balls, 2 strikes. Twins threatening here, down 1-0. Long pause by the pitcher, and now delivers inside, almost hit him.
You know, Jack Morris, Danny, is not just a World Series champion and co-MVP.
He played 1 year here. He played 1 year here.
But he's also a champion of the annual Icebox Days that took place.
That's right.
In International Falls in January, up near the border.
Twins Caravan.
Yeah.
What a time that was, huh? You're going to have to explain that. Pulled down the left field line, just foul.
Icebox Days. What was it, Jack? The 37th or 35th annual Icebox
It was probably
Days?
the warmest day they ever had for that. International Falls is known for its.
Was that when you guys were throwing the toilet seat covers?
Toilet seat covers. We bowled with frozen turkeys.
Yeah.
Corey was really a great contributor to that, I promise you.
We did the smush racing, Jack.
He would have
2x4s.
Should have given him a Cornish hen. He might have been a little bit easier to throw the Cornish hen.
He did better than I did on the old turkey toss. I tried to knock it down in the air.
And again, pulled foul way out in front of Sano.
They had a lot of fun. Kids were out of school, or at least outside for the couple hours that they were allowed to go out, and they were having fun. You know, it felt like being in shorts.
There's something about the Twins Caravan. You sit, you kind of grumble a little bit, but once you get out there, start visiting all these people, the excitement that they have for the season to start. And again, pulled foul.
And Jack was my curling coach as well. We did some curling one night, I believe, in Bemidji. And Jack was my coach.
Only coach, you know, I was still suffering from a little sore knee. I didn't want to quite get down that low. Not that I couldn't do anything worth a while doing it anyway, but it was fun to watch.
Great time.
I actually enjoyed the people trying to explain the rules of curling to me, because it is a little bit confusing.
Sano having a good at bat, and strike 3. Looks at a fastball right on the outside corner. He had been pounding him in, and all of a sudden Fryer asked for the fastball away. And boy, a little cut fastball right on the outside corner. That's some pretty good pitching right there, because you all of a sudden you get about 4 or 5 pitches. He's coming in, he's setting in, and all of a sudden you start thinking, okay, I need to look in, and he dots one on the outside corner. So here's Kepler now to bat. Still Buxton a threat to steal. Line drive caught by the second baseman. Now he drops it. He's going to pick it up. He's going to throw to the runner at second, and we'll double up Buxton at second. Colton Long backhanded it. It went down, and then it popped out of his glove. The second base umpire said he caught it, and then they doubled up Buxton at second base. Boy, that was a bullet off the bat of Kepler. And the Twins come up empty. They do leave 1-5 complete. 1-0 Cardinals on your home for Twins baseball.
Welcome to our One for Everyone sales event.
We're looking for something reliable.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. It's our 2-year or 25,000-mile maintenance plan.
I can do my own maintenance.
Also includes 24-hour roadside assistance.
Oh, roadside my own assistance. Thank you.
At no additional cost.
That's great.
Okay, yeah. Sign us up.
Right now.
Good pitcher, though, is going to be Taylor Rogers. So Kinsler 1 inning. And the first pitch from Rogers down and away to Colton Wong, leadoff batter for the Cardinals. Had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. As we start the top half of the 6th inning, Twins have had multiple opportunities 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning. Tie this ball game up. There's a strike catching the outside corner. And now 1 ball, 1 strike. Brandon Kinsler joins us now in the Twins dugout. Brandon, how'd your outing go here today?
Overall, pretty good. Obviously, I don't like walking anybody, but I was trying to work on a few other pitches. Next thing you know, you're deep in the count and you're in trouble. It wasn't looking for this to happen, but at least I got to get some pitches in.
Brandon, when you talk about you wanted to get all your pitches in, sometimes as a 1 inning guy, you can maybe not get to some of those pitches. Was there one particular pitch you're trying to get to work on?
There's 2. I like to work on throwing changeups to right-handers. I see a lot of guys always cheating on sinkers down and in. I like to throw the changeup in the same spot and see if we can get some swing and misses or some weak contact. And obviously my sliders, I throw really good ones in the bullpen. It's a pitch that I'm definitely looking to get back going, but I just have to learn to get trusting it on the field.
Yeah, I thought that you were a couple of the breaking balls as Wong grounds out to the second baseman Adrianza. That a couple of the breaking balls kind of too hard, like you hung on to it, you bounced a couple that maybe just overspun them.
Yeah, it's just not trusting it. It's like I know I could beat him with my fastball, so I'm going to throw, I'm aggressive, all of a sudden you land, you're like, oh, I don't want to get beat with this, and then you kind of just throw it away, you know. But I need to learn to, even if I hang a few, I need to start trusting it so I can at least get the extension on the pitch.
Does it matter the hitters that you face, and when you notice a guy in there maybe have a high number on his back, is that important? Do you recognize that?
Yeah, obviously I pitched against the Cardinals a lot when I was with Milwaukee. I faced a few of the guys, but the last couple guys I've never faced, I think sometimes that mindset, you lose that focus a little bit, and that's a hard part in spring training as a reliever. Sometimes you're going to face the guys that you'll never see again or you're not very familiar with, and you don't know what their weakness is, and they're looking to jump you right away. I think my first 2 outings I had about 17 pitches combined. I didn't really get a chance to work on anything.
Now a base hit by the batter Alameda, so he's at first base. 1 out single. Greinchuk is the batter right now. Rogers, the lefty, with a runner at first. Good speed, I think, and swung and foul tipped.
You know, Brandon, how often do relievers, because of how long spring training is and starters have all these starts to try to build up their innings, do relievers often get shortchanged if you don't get the innings you want in a given outing, that you have to go kind of finish things in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think you just got to do extra side work, really. Like if I would have thrown maybe 10 pitches that inning, I probably would have went down and thrown some more sliders. I was about, 6 pitches into that inning, and I had 2 outs, and I really was like, I haven't worked on anything yet. that I really wanted to work on. So luckily I had 3 days off in between this outing, so I did throw a short side this morning. But, you know, that's just the way our world is. We don't get a chance to work on many things.
Rogers going to toss over to first base.
Last year was the healthiest you've been in how long?
2010, so I guess about 6 years.
Did you attribute that to a workout program that you might have changed up, or was it the role, more the role that you were in last year?
It was a little bit of both. It's one, healing from that knee surgery, getting with the right people, and getting the right program to strengthen that leg from that knee surgery, because the year before that, after the knee surgery, I wasn't on a very good program, and that's why I basically didn't play 2015. The role definitely helps when you're not up and down or getting dry humped all the time. To be able to throw the ninth inning, or at least be able to plan your outings and be mentally ready, that does help. The adrenaline helps your body. Obviously, you don't have to feel perfect every day. The adrenaline takes over.
How important is it, you see at this time of the year, or starting to come up, guys will go pitch in the backfield against the minor leaguers when they start showing up. Is that something that you look forward to? You prefer that if you do need work?
If I need work, I don't mind it. That's definitely a hard mindset too. I did that a few times last year, and I had to do multiple innings. That was the hard part, is getting up for the second inning, because there's no adrenaline. It's very quiet out there. And it's definitely, and you don't know the hitters. If it's something I really like, I really want to work on some sliders today. I don't mind it. I mean, a lot of times you get your butt kicked when that happens, but the main thing is to build momentum towards the season starting and not worry about the outings right now.
Were there times late last season when you looked around at the bullpen and said, wait a minute, I'm the most veteran guy at this time? And I bring that up with Taylor Rogers throwing right now with a solid rookie season. But did that catch you off guard a few times last year?
Yeah, once it was me and Jeppy, and then
well hit to right field. Grossman back, still tracking, but Grossman can run it down.
Are we done, or you want me to stay on?
You want to stick around for one more?
Yeah, stick around one more
stick
time.
around.
Yeah, all right.
All right. They strand one runner on one hit. Brandon Kinsler will join us here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Twins trailing 1-0 on your home for Twins baseball.
Meadow Ridge.
Start the bottom half of the sixth inning. Here's Park to bat. Slow grounder to the third baseman. Backhands it. Comes up on target throw to retire Park. Brandon Kinsler continues to join us down in the Twins dugout. Has Paul Molitor come to you with Glenn Perkins still on the shelf and defined roles, not only but for you, but maybe for some of the other guys in the bullpen right now?
I think in our meetings, we have the personal meetings with the front office, and Molly in the beginning of spring training, they said we don't find any reason to change where you're at the back end. I don't know what that means sometimes, but I kind of thought maybe I'd stay with that role. Other than that, nothing's really been clear cut. That's just really what they said to me. I just go about my business, and I'll prepare for whatever role I'm going to be in.
Yeah, there's a different role when you prepare to be that closer, and the mindset probably changes once the season starts, because a lot of the closers like to stick around maybe in the clubhouse and then make that trip out there a little bit later.
Yeah.
Is that your routine right now, or at least that's what it was last year?
Yeah. Last year I'd go out around the 4th or 5th inning. You know, I'll try away and catch up with the game regardless. I like to do hot, you know, the contrast, hot tub, cold tub. I like to do all that right when the game starts. That way my body's going, feels fresh by the time I get out there, and I'm not sitting around too long. And then right now with the pitch count starting to stretch out, I'm trying to get in that routine right now too. Obviously I'm coming in right after the starter, but at least I can start getting somewhat of a routine.
Chris Jimenez bats, hits the ball in the hole at short. Nice backhand stop, strong throw, nice stretch. Good play all around by the Cardinals. They always seem to have some good, talented players.
Yeah, Brandon, I think, speaking of your routine, there were times last year when you were summoned for a multi-inning save, and you were one that if you came on, got an out in the 8th inning, and knew you were going back out for the 9th, you don't sit down, right? You have the jacket on, and you're pacing back and forth, right, inside the dugout?
Yeah, I learned after my first multiple save inning, I sat down and I went to stand up, and I had absolutely nothing. It took me about 3 hitters to get it going again. So Perry, our strength coach, mentioned just keep walking, keep the lactic acid away from my legs, and just keep walking around. So I started doing that, and it really helped a lot. And even if I go back towards the clubhouse and just keep walking around, as long as I'm moving, you know, the energy will keep going.
Blanco bats, 2 down, bases empty, and slices this one foul down by the Twins bullpen. You having fun this year?
Yeah, I think this spring training is a little more fun than last year. Last year, plenty of anxiety every day.
How's Eddie Guardado doing down there with the guys? Still a little bit stronger and keeping things loose down there?
Yeah, he's so serious sometimes. You know,
yes,
he's really loose before the games. Once the game starts, I keep asking, you're not the same. We need to know which Eddie we're going to get every day. I never know what we're going to get, but I guess that's what keeps it fun.
But that's how he tests you guys too.
Yeah, he don't give you many compliments either. He's a really hard guy to get a compliment from. You think, you know, you pitch well, he's going to come say something nice. He just give you a dap and keep moving.
Polanco taps this one near the dugout of the Cardinals.
Hey, we have 2 outs. We got to keep this clean, though. Do you have a good Eddie story you can share from last year? Clean one, clean.
More than just when he I don't even know if I can say that.
Let's not.
No, you know, he's a very fired up guy.
Okay.
That's all you can say is he's good energy. I can't say he's clean all the time, but you know, he definitely keeps it loose down there.
So it's made his career so long, and he's still trying to transition into the coach there, but he does it well.
The funniest part is watching it when he's sitting on the other side of the bullpen and the phone rings, and he's like, he's sprinting all the way across. He gives himself water before he gives us water.
Ground ball first base, race to the base, to retire Polanco. 3 up, 3 down. Brandon Kinsler, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Brandon Kinsler joins us. Twins still trail 1-0 as we start the top half of the 7th inning. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. 1-0 St. Louis. They got their lone run back in the third inning. I mean, Twins baseball is always brought to you by the beaches of Fort Myers, Sanibel. Find your island, find warm white sand beaches, and find the moments that always end too soon but become memories forever. All you have to do is visit FortMyersSanibel.com. We start the top of the 7th. Take you the rest of the way. Corey Provis.
Hi, Danny. Thank you. Buddy Bo Shears is the new Twins pitcher. Jed Jerko leads off. A check swing and a high fastball, and it's ball 1. Bo Shears, 28 years old. Saw him with the Twins last year at 37 games, 36 innings. Struck out 37 men on the stretch, and the 1-0 on Jerko. Swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. Change of pace that time from Buddy, who finds himself in competition to perhaps win a job as a left-handed option in the Twins bullpen to begin the year. Now the 1-1 on Jerko. Fastball, knee-high, strike 2 called, 1-2. Defensively, Leonardo Reginato is now at short. Reset the entire Twins defense after this at bat to Jed Jerko. Tommy Pham on deck, and the 1-2 got him looking. Frozen by a fastball from Bo Shears. So Jerko now 0 for 3. One away, 1-0 St. Louis here in the 7th inning.
They catch a game at Target Field while enjoying at-home comfort. Suites are available for single-game rental for groups of 16 all the way up to 150. Whether you choose the intimate premier or the spacious Skyline Suites, food and beverages are always included. Schedule your suite event today. All you have to do is go to twinsbaseball.com/groups
and ask for Scotty O'Connell.
Food and beverages, that's included.
Yeah,
that could be a lot of beverages.
A lot of beverages. Well, Scotty's tuning in today back home. Tommy Pham, the hitter, takes ball 1 low. The next one is bounced foul behind the plate. The Twins defense right now. Drew Stubbs remains in left. J.B. Shuck is in center. Robbie Grossman is in right. Back to the infield here after this 1-1 pitch on Tommy Pham. He's 0 for 2 today. Pham, the St. Louis center fielder. And the 1-1 outside corner, strike 2. So Bouchier is throwing strikes right now. Dan Rolfing is at first. Eddie Adrianza, the second baseman. Reginato at short. Benji Gonzalez at third base. And a 1-2 check swing and a breaking ball. They appeal. Did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The only run so far today came in the third. A 2-out run-scoring single from Colton Wong that plated Patrick Wisdom. That's been it. Twins have had scoring chances aplenty today, but have not cashed in. They've left 7 men on through 6 innings. Shears from the sunshine deals 2-2. Curve low and in, ball 3. We thank Brandon Kinsler for joining us. Taylor Rogers set to join us here momentarily as well. Thanks to Jack Morris as well for checking in.
Thank you.
Now the 3-2. He walked him just outside, ball 4. As he shot the outside corner and missed away. So Pham is on. He will run for himself. And now Chad Huffman 0 for 2 today. He's lined out and bounced out to short. Well, that battle in the Twins bullpen. We heard from one reliever in Kinsler. Taylor Rogers also in the mix to be a left-handed option. Craig Breslow in that group. Ryan O'Rourke in that group. There are spots to be had in the Twins bullpen. Pham has a good lead. He runs first pitch, and it's a pitch down low, throw to second base. They'll never get it. And that was one where Pham stole that one more off Bouchier than anybody else. He had a huge lead. He took off first move, and Pham now in scoring position. Pitch was low on Huffman. Cardinals only have 3 hits. Twins have 5. And the 1-0 swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. Much like Kinsler, Boshiers was in camp last year as a non-roster invitee. Began the season with AAA Rochester. Appeared in 15 games with the Red Wings. And his contract purchased by the Twins in late May. Now the 1-1. Ground ball in the hole at short to his right. Reginato backhands a spinning jump throw across and can't be dug out by Rolfing. And now Pham's going to take off for third base, and he's going to make it standing. Reginato to his right, deep in the hole, planted, and then spun around a jump throw across, and Rolfing could not make a clean pick. And with that, Pham's going to take third base on the error. So infield single for Huffman, but Pham advances on the error, and St. Louis has runners at the corners.
Pretty good play just to get to that ball, and then he elected to do that kind of jump throw there, and just the ball seemed to short hop Rolfing at first base, kicked away, and that allowed the runner to advance to third.
Twins have the infield back, first and third for Wisdom, the DH, who has scored the only game's run so far. Cardinals lead 1-0, and a fastball from Boshiers is a The error, by the way, was charged down to shortstop Reginato. So the E6 on the advance of Pham. Let's see if Boshiers can get one on the ground here. Twins can end this inning. And the 0-1 outside. 1-1. Kyle Gibson started today and threw well. 4 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. He struck out 2, walked a man. Jimenez sets up over the plate, and the 1-1 swing and a miss as Boshiers took something off. And now it's 1-2. Cardinals 7-2 so far in the Grapefruit League. The Twins are 5-4-1. Ball and 2 strikes on Wisdom. And the pitch bounced foul at the plate. Twins have 2 scheduled off days here this spring with the elongated spring training. The first one taking place tomorrow. We're back here, TV and radio, Wednesday night against Team USA. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and the pitch, a swing and a pop-up. Shallow center, not deep enough to score a run. Reginato out, and Reginato, the shortstop, calls and catches in left center for the second out. So Wisdom pops out, runners hold at first and third, and it's going to be Eric Fryer batting for St. Louis. Fryer still went a long way. His last time up in the 5th inning, but Buxton caught it near the track in left center field. Pham at third, Huffman at first. 2 down. As Boshiers comes home, and this is outside of fastball, ball 1. Minor league camp officially opens tomorrow down the street. A ton of guys have been here now for a while. And games begin for the minor leaguers March 12th to March 13th. As Boshiers checks on Huffman at first base, he's back in safely. I think we're still a few days away from the first round of cuts. And the WBC may factor in there, but still have some time probably before teams start trimming their rosters.
I think it affected the Cardinals. I thought I read they had 11 players who were going to go out and play.
1-0 is outside. 2-0. And all the Twins will be represented by 10 players at the WBC. Many of them minor leaguers. 2-0 outside, 3-0.
Being informed by Detroit Tiger kingpin Mr. Happy Jack Morris, 18 Tiger players.
Motown Jack knows all.
Yeah, he's still connected to that organization, rightfully so. Had a pretty good career for him.
There's a strike called. I mentioned earlier how I was on Caravan with Jack, and I said, look, everybody's talking about Game 7 '91. How about how I did in '84 with the Tigers? Nobody asked about that. I'm like, Jack, wrong state. Wrong state, Jack.
Well, if he was on a Caravan with the Tigers, they'd probably be asking about it.
That's a big story in Ypsilanti. The 3-1, a swing and a fly ball, left center field in the gap, but playable. This is Shuck tracking, calling, and catching. Inning over. Boshears works out of it. Cardinals lead 2 more. We stretch in Fort Myers. Still 1-0 St. Louis on your home for Twins baseball. Aspiring youth athletes to the pros, Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine will help you meet your sports performance goals. Call today to make your appointment at Mayo Clinic Square in Minneapolis. TC Bear having a good time today. Squirt gun in hand. Facing atop the third base dugout. New pitcher for the Cardinals, hard-throwing right-hander Sandy Alcantara. So this guy can hit upper 90s, if not 100 miles per hour. We'll see how the Twins fare against him, trailing by 1 in the bottom half of the 7th. Stubbs, Adrianza, and Shuck scheduled to bat. Corey and Danny back upstairs. We're now joined by Twins relief pitcher Taylor Rogers. He worked a scoreless inning earlier today. Strike called on Stubbs. Fastball 0-1. That one clocked at 96. Taylor, how things going for you so far here in camp?
Going good, guys. Thank you for having me. And I heard down in the clubhouse, congratulations to Dan.
Hey.
Is that true?
Yeah. Grandpa now.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Papa Dazzle. 1 ball, 1 strike on Drew Stubbs, who's 0 for 2 today. Here comes Alcantara as he goes off speed and spikes one in front of Stubbs, ball 2. Last year, at this time, you were prepping for a season unlike you ever have before, in that you weren't a starter. You were going to the bullpen for the first time. Looking back, how did things go for you?
You know what? Like you say, in the beginning, I was a little scared with the transition. You know, with it being in the big leagues. You know, not really having an idea totally what you're doing, but things went well. Eddie Guardado was a huge help, and Brandon Kinser kind of took me under his wing and kind of showed me his routines and his patterns. And, you know, at this point today, I kind of say it's just like you're still driving, but you're driving on the right side of the car. So you're still driving, it's just a little different.
Stubbs grounds out to short, so 1 away. And here comes Andy Adrianza, claimed off waivers. He's on the 40-man roster. That transaction happened in early February as he laces one to shallow left field, and that's going to be caught on a line by the left fielder Garcia. So quickly 2 outs as we chat here with Taylor Rogers in the 7th. Twins batting but trailing 1-0.
Taylor, the toughest adjustment for you from going from a starter to the bullpen is how many pitches that you need to get loose to where, yes, I'm ready to come into the game?
I thought it was going to be at the beginning. I thought that was going to be the biggest adjustment, but it truly wasn't. You know, you practice your craft before the game when you're throwing, and then that way you have the confidence in the game to know that it's going to be there. So that was relatively easy for me. My toughest battle with it was, you know, when do you lift weights? You know, how are you going to do that? Being prepared every single day, and just trying to find a routine. You know, sometimes you throw 2 days in a row, maybe 3. So, you know, when you're going to get your lifts in and stay strong for the season. That was the biggest battle.
J.B. Shuck takes a fastball low and inside. That had some heat on that one at 98. On the radar gun, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefties hit just 202 against you last year. Has that always been part of your repertoire, that you've been really good against left-handed hitters?
Yeah, knock on wood. Kind of always been able to get them out.
Line to third, a leaping catch made by the new third baseman. Good play. As Danny Taylor, can you stick around for 1 more half inning?
Yeah, I'll stick around, fellas.
All right, Taylor Rogers will come back and join us. A 1-2-3-7. Cardinals playing some good D here today. And after 7, 1-0 St. Louis. A new home for Twins baseball. The 8th inning, Cardinals 1, Twins nothing. New pitcher, right-hander JT Chagua, 26-year-old, now a Texan, born in Louisiana. He will face Anthony Garcia to begin the St. Louis 8th inning. Cardinals lead 1-0. Magnurius Sierra is on deck as Chagua misses down low ball 1. Taylor Rogers kind enough to stick around for 1 more half inning. Has there been a situation in camp so far? You have a year, basically, of big league time under your belt, but there's a lot of guys who haven't sniffed the big leagues yet. Have people been just kind of asking you questions here so far throughout camp?
A little bit, not so much. We got a lot of veteran guys around here, and I'm the one asking the questions usually. Justin Haley came up to me and asked kind of what my transition was from a starter to the bullpen, and I gave him some input, and he kind of put some things into use. But for the most part, I try to be that guy asking the questions and seeing what guys do to be successful.
2-0 is inside on Garcia. 3 balls and no strikes. Do you miss starting, though?
I do a little bit, but you know what? I really embrace the bullpen, and I like coming to the ballpark every day thinking you can pitch. You know, you get in the car to drive over the field, and you already set your mind that you're going to get in the game and try to do something sweet. So I kind of like that aspect of the bullpen.
Garcia, 3-0 green light. He chops one foul. That'll find the fans right over the Twins' third base dugout.
Taylor, we've always talked to guys that have made the transition from a starter to the bullpen guy. Usually a starter has maybe 3-4 pitches. Have you kind of eliminated, or are you going to still keep all your pitches, guy coming out of the bullpen now?
Well, this year I'm going to try to add a pitch. Changeup was I used it sparingly last year, I guess is a good term for that. But really worked on it this offseason, and it's coming along pretty good this spring. Even though I did give up a homer on it last outing, but we're not going to talk about that. But no, still sticking curveball and two-seamer. Stick with the strengths and try to mix in that changeup a little bit and counter with the right-handed batters.
Is it the changeup a different grip you're working with, or maybe certain situations when to throw it?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but mostly the grip right now. Last year I was throwing them pretty hard, like 88 or 89. I think they were registering as fastballs, but. You know, it's a traditional circle, but I kind of made it, I moved the thumb up, and it made it more into an oval grip instead of a circle, and that seemed to slow it down this year a little bit. Still feel like you're going to throw it in the stands every time because you don't have a lot of hand on the ball, but, you know, it's getting there, work in progress.
Shagwa strikes out Garcia with a sweeping slider, so JT comes back, and that's out number 1. Here is Magnerius Sierra, big-time prospect in the Cardinals system. Sierra last year at Low A Peoria hit .307, stole 31 bases, left-handed hitter, left-handed thrower. As he passed in the 8th inning, Cardinals lead 1-0. As Shagwa comes set and the pitch outside ball 1. You expect big things out of Shagwa this year, a guy that closed 2016 pretty strong?
Absolutely. The guy's a tireless worker, man. He every day you come to the clubhouse and he's just sweating already. And a lot of people are still showing up, and sometimes you get worried that he's going to overwork himself, but he's an amazing athlete and a good guy to have down there in the pen, so I would expect big things from him.
Fastball misses outside, so 2 balls and no strikes on Sierra. Your role this season, do you like the fact that you don't have kind of a defined inning? You just can't say that, hey, Taylor Rogers is going to be our 5th inning guy or 6th inning guy, a bunt that goes foul into the Twins dugout. Do you kind of like not having that label attached to your name?
I do like it. I do like it. It keeps you on your feet. One of the guys I watched a lot last year was Andrew Miller, and I kind of like the way he was used in the playoffs. You know, just whenever something's needed to be shut down, they brought him in, and I kind of want to try to do that this year, try to mimic that. But whenever they call you, I'll be ready to go. And if something happens, so be it. But 1 inning, 2 inning, I'll be ready.
Pitches up, ball 3. Hey, leaving your role and leaving your numbers for a moment, something Danny and I were talking about earlier this spring is about the pitch clock that's in the minor leagues right now. And the 3-1 is lofted foul. You were dabbling with that. I think you were one of the first to do so in the fall league a couple years ago. Pros and cons to pitching with the pitch clock in baseball in the minor leagues.
Yeah, so I actually was part of the guinea pigs down there in Salt River when that first came out. And to be honest with you, in between pitches, that 20 seconds is no big deal. Didn't even have to think about that one. But one of the big things that was a little bit of just kind of changed the game a little bit was if it's in April and it's cold out, you're sitting in the dugout for, half hour, you get a long inning, and then you only have 2 minutes to come warm up. So you had to change your routine a little bit there just to make sure to be ready within that clock. But for the most part, it's nothing that really even guys think about out there.
Shagwa strikes out Sierra. Again, a good slider down and inside. So 2 punch outs for JT, and now it's going to be Edmundo Sosa in the St. Louis 8th inning. Cardinals lead 1-0. Chatting with Taylor Rogers. And here's the pitch. It's a thigh-high strike. With that pitch clock, it would reset, though, if you were going to throw to first base or if you stepped off. There were situations where it does reset, correct?
Correct, yeah. And if you did see it kind of dwindling down 1-2 seconds, you just have to step off, and that would kind of reset the thing. But I think having that in the back of guys' minds, it keeps them speeding up. And like you say, I don't think the major leagues need it just yet. And with the guys coming up, they're already used to the clock. So their routines in the batter's box and on the mound are going to have them sped up anyway. So I think that'll just kind of carry on in as more people come up and keep the game going.
1 ball, 1 strike on Edmundo Sosa. Base is empty, 2 outs here in the St. Louis 8th inning. And Chagua's fastball misses off the plate. So ball 2. Do you think it's inevitable that it will reach the big leagues? Or Irvin Santana joined us a couple days ago. He thinks it will happen because it's in the minor leagues and that's how things go, that eventually, yeah, it's going to be part of Major League Baseball. Do you see that happening?
I think so. You know, that big topic is speeding up the game. And I think if you put a clock up there, the fans will know that you're trying to make the effort to speed it up. But I'm not sure I have the credibility to speak on that point.
Pitch is high, 3 balls and 1 strike on Sosa. Alfredo Tovar, former Twins minor leaguer. He is on deck for St. Louis as this inning prolongs. Chagua struck out the first 2 men this half inning. And the 3-1 check swing, breaking ball, and it's outside. No appeal made. And there is ball 4. What do you do when you get away from baseball down here? There's so much to do in Florida. You've got great weather, fishing, beaches, you name it. What do you do with your spare time down here?
Well, I like to call myself a golfer. My score doesn't reflect it, but you know, the atmosphere out there is great, and the courses here are just outstanding. And I like to go out there and hit the white ball around and try to avoid the water and the trees and all that stuff.
And the Gators?
Yeah, those two.
There's Tovar. Played a good short last year at AAA Rochester. Chagua misses high, 93 a fastball, ball 1.
Taylor, is there a certain guy on the team that you kind of go out with and maybe compete against with out there that enjoys it as much as you?
Yeah, Duffy's probably one of my best friends in the organization. We've kind of come up the ladder together, and we go out there and play. We got a couple games that we play. If you hit a tree, you possess the wood chipper. And if you hit it in the water, you possess the snorkel, and then and then if you 3-putt, you get a snake. So that's kind of the games we play. And then at the end of the round, if you have all those, they're like $5-10 a piece. You got to pay up, but we're usually good enough to hit the trees in the water, so keeps the game going.
Now pitches high, ball 2. Now Duffy, he's emotional if he gives up a 2-out hit. If he snap hooks one off the tee box, what's his emotion like then?
He's a little short on clubs at the moment.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Usually when you get towards the end of the round, he'll stop throwing clubs because he knows that he needs them. But he's been known to throw a couple.
You don't seem like that kind of guy, though. You seem pretty mild-tempered. Is that fair?
Yeah, I'm pretty calm. Only a couple people know how to push my buttons. But
see, I would say that Duffy, you could probably get in his head on the golf course 100%. And be able to really kind of mess with his game a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I'll tell him.
Line to left, shallow. Danny Santana won't get this one. Base hit. Runner was going. Might be a play at third. Here's the throw, the tag, and they got him. So an aggressive run by the Cardinals trying to get to third base, and the Twins up to the challenge. Danny Santana throws him out, and the Cardinals make the last out at third base, and that ends the inning. It also ends our conversation with Taylor Rogers. Thanks for the time, as always. Best of luck the rest of camp.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Taylor Rogers, we thank him for his time. Cardinals don't score. They leave 1 through 7.5. In Fort Myers, still 1-0 St. Louis on your home for Twins baseball. Dan Rolfing leads off the Twins half of the 8th inning. Scoring number 78. Here in camp, Twins are down 1-0. Sandy Alcantara back out for his 2nd inning of work. And it's a strike called on Danny, 0-1. And the pitch, ground ball jammed. Weekly right side. The second baseman charges under and toss. Pulls the first baseman off the bag, but he applies the tag on Rolfing in time for the out. Down number 1. Dan Rolfing is somebody that we have seen over the years. He's been in Twins camp for a while. He left the Twins organization briefly with the Diamondbacks and the Mets. Danny, he's now 28 years old, and I'm curious to see where he begins. Maybe Double-A, depending on how things shake up with the pitching staff in Chattanooga. Strike called on Benji Gonzalez. The Twins love Rolfing's just makeup as a leader, as a catcher, and he might be paired up with some of the younger arms the Twins have that the Twins will be counting on, whether they're starters or relievers. Gonzalez laces a single to center. So 1 out knock for Benji Gonzalez now at third base, and the tying run is on. That'll bring up Robbie Grossman. His first at bat today. Rolfing signed as a minor league free agent back in December, but first year of professional ball with the Twins was back in 2007. Now Robbie Grossman. Switch hitter as he grounds one up the middle to the shortstop. Field steps on second for one, throws to first, double play, and with that the inning is quickly over. Sosa turns the double play. Twins don't score, lead none through 8. 1-0 Cardinals on your home for Twins baseball. Sellout crowd today, more than 8,000 on this lovely Monday afternoon. We thank you for joining us throughout the Treasure Island Baseball Network and simulcasting live on Fox Sports North. 9th inning, Ryan O'Rourke is the pitcher as the Twins trail 1-0. This will be the 4th appearance for the Twins left-hander. Got roughed up the other day. 13th round pick in 2010. We've seen O'Rourke the last 2 years, and he is a left-handed specialist and then some, but trying to change that label somewhat. After he got sent down mid-season last year, he was throwing more innings. He came into camp in tremendous shape. He is also in that mix to be a left-handed option. in the Twins bullpen. Eliezer Alvarez leads off the St. Louis 9th inning, and here is that matchup, lefty against lefty. And O'Rourke masterful again in spots like this last year. And a 1-0 pitch, fastball inside corner. Strike called, and Alvarez, it's even.
You know, Corey, I think you can look into the fact that they've got the left-handers that are battling for a spot in the bullpen, and Rogers, Buddy Bouchers, and now O'Rourke here all pitching on the same day. They like to be able to evaluate these guys a little bit on the same day.
Just bounced foul behind the plate. Danny 1-2.
Wouldn't be surprised if Breslow probably gets a appearance here on the same day that all these guys are auditioning.
Bouchers, O'Rourke, and Rogers all on the roster. And the 1-2 got him swinging. So Alvarez strikes out. A sweeping breaking ball that time from O'Rourke. And there is out number 1. And that will come into play as you kind of move along here. And, you know, creating 40-man roster spots isn't always as easy as one may think. Todd Cunningham will bat. Steps in from the right side, and he shows bunt, pulls it back as O'Rourke misses outside, ball 1.
You know, Corey, I think there's a concern there when you take a guy off the roster that somebody else is going to grab him and take him. And you know, every organization hates to lose a player when they do that, but sometimes you'll take a player off and you find out, you know what, maybe we over-evaluated him because there's no team out there that would take him. And we see that more times than not. Then, you know, let's take this guy off, and he's gobbled up. I think you look at, didn't Arcia get picked up, and then all of a sudden he went from one club. He played for 4 clubs last year.
Arcia now with Arizona. 3 balls and no strikes on Todd Cunningham. 1-0 St. Louis in the 9th. And the pitch is a knee-high strike. Fastball called on Cunningham.
And sometimes a contract will play into that. Didn't Tommy Malone get taken off the roster last year and still owed a little bit of money? And I think the team's kind of maybe shied away from him.
The 3-1, a swing and a fly ball, well hit left center field. This will send Stubbs back. Stubbs, now Santana on the warning track, will grab it. Maybe a different day, that perhaps lands in the berm, but this field today awfully tough. Howling wind. And Santana made the catch and left. And there is the second out. And here's Chad Huffman still in the ball game. St. Louis first baseman's had 3 at bats. A single, he's lined out and bounced out to short. Well, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, enjoy almost 300 spring training games. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. The #1 app for live baseball. Download it now. Strike on Huffman. And the 0-1 inside. That's the corner, 1-1. The sirens in the background. Jack's here, everybody. Jack's right here. Come get him. And the 1-2 is tapped foul past third.
Jack has never had the red lights turned on him before.
Never. Not a once.
Take that back. How about the time he got the highway patrol guy who wanted to get an autograph from after he gave you a ride home? How about that?
I got it. 9-1-1 Jack.
Hey.
And the 1-2 on Huffman is low. Blocked by Jimenez, 2-2.
Jack got pulled over one time, and I guess I can tell his story. He's right
Sure.
here. Who cares? But anyway, shouldn't have been driving his car, and he was, so they impounded the car. And then he was kind enough to give Jack a ride all the way home, drops him off at his residence, and then had the gall to say, oh, by the way, Jack, can I get an autograph from you?
Did Jack sign?
Of course he did.
He did.
Yeah.
Outside ball 3.
I want to know if he had to pay for the impound lot. Get that car out of there.
The co-MVPs of the 91 World Series to my right. Yes, that's the story that I'm often told. And the 3-2 inside, ball 4. He walked it. I see your point. I think you make a great case as to why it should be cold. As great as Jack pitched, he didn't score the run. He didn't score the winning run.
Nope. He didn't make the plays in the field. He did get some big strikeouts, though. But I did get to go over to his palace that he lives in, and he's got an awesome man cave basement down there, and got to hold, and he took a picture of me holding the MVP trophy. And it just felt so natural. And I started to give my speech, you know, and
I think you make a great point. I think it's a fair argument. I think we can go back in time and reset that and change the hardware a little bit. Strike on Patrick Wisdom in the 9th inning. And the 0-1 in the dirt. Kicks off Jimenez, and with that, runner advances down to second base. That's Huffman. On the wild pitch, charged to number 61, Ryan O'Rourke. Twins will have the DH. And Jimenez and Reginado due up. Let's see who bats for Byung-Ho Park in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Cardinals have a big insurance run at second base with 2 outs in the 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wisdom. And here it comes outside. Ball 2. Twins have used Gibson, Kinsler, Rogers, Boshiers, Shagwa, and now O'Rourke. Time is called as Ryan steps off. Now the 2-1 pitch, a fly ball foul, twisting on a play right side. Twins had scoring chances earlier in this game, but did not cash in. Left the bases loaded in the 3rd, left 2 on in the 4th. And a leadoff double from Buxton did not cash in the 5th. Still down by 1. The 2-2, ball 3 outside. Eric Fryer on deck if Wisdom reaches and this inning prolongs. Three balls and 2 strikes on Wisdom. The leg kick and the pitch. Line to 3rd and through, base in left field. Cunningham rounding 3rd. He's going to try to score. Santana's going to the play. Caught by Jimenez and tags him out. Danny Santana with 2 outfield assists in the last 2 innings. And this one ends the inning. Jimenez applying the tag on Cunningham, who thought his feet slid underneath. Tag was high. Still Cunningham called out. No replay. And that is out number 3. So last wraps coming up for the Twins. Need 1 to tie. Cardinals 1, Twins 0.
This is a gorgeous car.
Chevy is getting a lot of attention at the auto show.
Check this out. This is sweet.
Beautiful truck.
I really like this.
Very cool.
I like the leather seats. Wow.
Young-Ho Park will bat. Bottom half of the 9th. Twins are down 1-0. Park today is 1 for 3. Still Alcantara pitching for the Cardinals as a breaking ball runs up and in. Young-Ho, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandy Alcantara, hard-throwing right-hander. His 3rd inning of work. And here's the 1-1. Check swing foul. Just off the knob of the bat. Up and inside on Byung-Ho. Jimenez on deck, and then Reginado. The only run so far came back in the Cardinal 3rd. And the 1-2 breaking ball outside and low, 2-2. A Colton Wong 2-out run scoring single has been the only run, has produced the only run. And the 2-2, a swing and a fly ball, twisting foul right side. Two balls and 2 strikes. Byung-Ho Park, who steps out and now is ready to go. Barrel towards the plate. Sporting bright white batting gloves. And the 2-2, swinging a foul. And Fryer cannot hang on to that baseball, so Park stays alive. And the 2-2, ball 3 outside.
Bob Gebhardt in attendance here. He is now with the St. Louis Cardinals. Gebhardt, of course, was part of the architect of the 87-91 Twins team that Andy McPhail brought him over.
Inside, ball 4. Leadoff walk. And the tying run is on. The winning run is coming up. And Jimenez and a pinch runner will run for Park. That's going to be Zach Granite, I believe, and that will indeed be the man. And Zach can run. Stole more than 50 bases last year at AA. So Granite, see if he is looking to move. Bob Gebhardt also, he was a big part of you going to Colorado, right? Was he part of that group as well?
Yeah, Gebhardt, when he left the Twins, he became the general manager of the Colorado Rockies, and then, of course, he brought me over there as an advanced scout a number of years. And he was been with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Inside, ball 1 on Jimenez, Danny.
And the Diamondbacks, you know, they every few years, Chip Hale was the manager, and it didn't work out. They made some changes from the top, kind of a trickle-down effect. And Geb felt he felt he's better off. He likes where he's at right now, the Cardinals. But down there scouting, got to talk to him. Billy Smith gave him a tour of the minor league complex. Gebhardt has not been here since 1991.
And the 1-0, swing and a miss. That was the Twins' first year here,
yes,
right? 91.
And Geb was part of building the facility and some of the things that we need when they started to construct this ballpark, and listened to his story about how he needed a bigger clubhouse down there, and we think this is one of the big spacious clubhouses in all of minor league baseball, and it's large.
1 ball, 1 strike. We'll see if Granite's moving here. As he takes his lead, represents the tying run, he stays. The 1-1, bounce foul behind the plate.
But Geb said he was impressed. Minor league complex over there with the dormitories, but they have the kitchen area, the learning center. The Twins have done so much with this complex. And again, it all started in 91. And he asked me, he goes, did you ever go to Melbourne? That's where their facility was. It was an old landing strip airport. And I said, no, I didn't make it there, but I did make it to Tinker Field.
Ball and 2 strikes. Granite stays. Breaking ball. Chopped to third. Might be 2. Fielded by the third baseman. Second floor on the relay is going to be in time for the double play. First baseman Hoffman nearly came off the bag in the back end. It goes 5-4-3 around the infield. So just like that, 2 outs. And it's up to Reginado. Twins trail 1-0. Hoffman's right foot just kind of sweeping across the base. One maybe regular season you'd look at.
They might have looked at it, but they're not going to get a change. He was on the bag long enough.
So Granite never had a chance to run. Now part of that could be not just Quintera's speed towards the plate, but how hard he throws. Around 98, 99. So the double play ball turned by the Cardinals. 2 outs. Reginado. Strike call. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by Authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. And the 0-1 pitch bounced foul. The Twins are down to their last strike. You can hear the Cardinal fans who have stuck around applauding. The 0-2, broken back ground ball right side. The second baseman Tovar bobbles it, and Reginado is on. Twins catch a break. E4 extends this game.
Come on, Danny.
Pitch that was right in on Reginado. Jammed him, and Tovar bobbled the ball. The Twins still have a chance.
For the Twins, number 39, Danny Santana.
So here's Danny Santana. He homered the other day up in Clearwater in a game against the Phillies. Time called. Santana so far has 4 hits and 16 at bats in the Grapefruit League. Switch hitting left fielder. Out of options. That's Danny Santana here this year. Alcantara's pitch, fastball, letter high, strike called. Santana has spent primarily most of his time in the outfield. He's had a few reps, though, on the infield early on in Grapefruit League play. And the 0-1 pitch, ground ball to the right of short. The shortstop bobbles this one. Back-to-back miscues by the Cardinals. First it was Tovar, now it's Sosa, the shortstop. E6. So it's going to be Eddie Adrianza. And Santana, he can run. And maybe that factored into Sosa.
A little bit. He got kind of crossed up a little bit. He got handcuffed on that ball, just a little bit out of control, trying to field it. I'm not sure if he was going to try to go to second with that or try to get Santana. No chance to get Danny at first, but it looked like the way he was setting up to field it.
So it's Adrianza. 1 hit so far and 11 at bats in the Grapefruit League as he grounds one to first and third base in right field. Reginado running third, heading home. Here's the third of the plate. It's offline. We're tied. And Adrianza pulls a game-time run-scoring single to right. Reginado scores. Santana to third. It's 1-1. And here comes Mike Matheny. As he looks down the right field line, he's going to make a pitching change as Alcantara. He pitched well, did his job, but his teammates let him down a couple of misplays. And the Twins have tied it and can win it with a winning run 90 feet away and 2 down here in the 9th inning. So a pitching change. And we will step aside as well. 1 in, 2 on, 2 out in the 9th. Game tied. We're back in a moment on your home for Twins baseball. Game tied 1-1. Twins taking advantage of a couple of Cardinal miscues. With 2 outs, Danny Santana, the winning run at third base. New pitcher, left-hander Ryan Sheriff. Good story about this guy that circulated a couple days ago. And Adam Wainwright, one of the real good guys in the game, he saw that one of his Cardinal teammates, a minor league pitcher, was just walking all the time from the spring training complex to his residence day in and day out. And Wainwright said, "Do you have a car?" He said, "No." "Do you have a bike?" "No." Well, a day or so later, a car arrives for Ryan Sheriff at the team complex, all expenses paid, as Adam Wainwright picked up the rental car fees and dues for Ryan Sheriff for the rest of camp. J.B. Shuck batting. Lefty on lefty, and a strike is called. 0-1. And Sheriff has a chance to be Wainwright's teammate. He is certainly in the mix to be a bullpen option here.
Well, maybe he doesn't own a car, but if not, he makes his club. Maybe he gets one purchased for him of the big club, at least the big league level.
First and third, 2 outs. It's up to J.B. Shuck in a 1-1 game. And the 0-1 pitch is popped up, foul. Souvenir back behind the plate. And the count moves to 0-2. I love hearing those stories, though. Those are always great stories to read and hear about. Troy Hawkins, that he was always known for doing that. Kirby Puckett did that for him when he was coming up and taking care of suits and clothes early in his career. Hawkins, a guy that paid it forward throughout his career as well. Runner at first goes the 0-2, a check swing foul. That's Adrianza that ran towards second base.
Yeah, more times than not, Corey, you get to the big league level like that, and the travel's a little bit different, of course. And you know, sometimes you go out and buy a jacket or two or an outfit or two of nice clothes for these guys so they can travel in.
No balls and 2 strikes on J.B. Shuck. Danny Santana, the winning run, 90 feet away. Adrian's at first. Sheriff from the belt. And the 0-2 check swing. He went strike 3, inning over. So Sheriff strikes out Shuck, but not before the Twins tie it up. The Cardinals commit 2 costly errors, and 1 leads to a run. So we play to the 10th, all tied 1-1 on your home for Twins baseball. Down here in the Grapefruit League, extra innings means at least 1 more inning. Generally, you do play a 10th. That's the case right now. Game tied 1-1. Fernando Romero, the new pitcher. Eric Fryer swings and pops it up, playable near third. This will be called for and caught out of the bag by the third baseman, Benji Gonzalez. And Eric Fryer, 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. Romero so far here in the spring, 2 perfect innings. Couple of strikeouts. Starting pitcher likely will be at Double-A to start the year. 22-year-old Dominican-born and a big-time pitching prospect the Twins have amongst starters. Power arm. Mid to upper 90s with heavy sink. A slider, still working on the change. As he pumps in a fastball there on Anthony Garcia. First strike called. 0-1. He works quickly. And the 0-1 slider right there misses away. A ball and a strike. Romero last year, Cedar Rapids and Fort Myers. 16 starts after coming back from Tommy John. Did not pitch at all in 2015. This is outside ball 2. The Twins kept him back at spring training. Extended spring training after camp ended last year. And they're going to monitor his innings again this summer. And the 2-1. A weak ground ball to third and foul. 6 feet, 215. Remove Barrios from the conversation, a guy that has some big league time. If you're thinking about the next wave without a single big league appearance, Romero, Gonsalves, Felix Jorge among starters, certainly names to remember. The 2-2, a fly ball into center. J.B. Shuck is there, backpedal, squares, and catches. 2 down.
Number 79, Magnerius.
Here's Magnerius Sierra. He struck out back in the 8th inning. Twins will have Rolfing, Gonzalez, and Grossman scheduled in the bottom half of the 10th. Ball 1 on Sierra. And 1-0 from Romero. Fastball. Pop on that. Strike called. It's even 1-1.
Well, we were talking about that time clock. This is a guy that's not has to worry about the time clock. He gets the ball and gets right back out there and has a good idea what he wants to feature.
Swing and a miss down and inside, and Sierra not close. 1-2. That's where Shagwa beat him. Slider down and in. Back in the 8th inning. Fernando Romero trying to end the Cardinal 10th inning right now. Bases empty, 2 outs, and the 1-2 fastball off the outside corner. There's the sink right there. Mid to upper 90s. That's what this guy features. Now the 2-2, low and inside, nearly hit Sierra. In fact, that one sent him down to all fours. Skipping underneath the knees of the left-handed batting Sierra. And got by Jimenez as well.
Always felt that's an effective pitch. You know, you always talk about pitching up and in on guys, but sometimes you get around the ankles and the knees. Won't get too comfortable in the batter's box.
To go back down and in, though, after doing that?
That slider.
3-2. Tapper, first base line. Tough play. Romero picks it up. He'll throw late. In fact, the throw gets by the first baseman backing up. He's the second baseman, Adrianza. Kind of a swinging bunt single there for Sierra. Not a good throw from Romero. Better off probably just to eat it.
Yeah, better off if they don't field it with your glove. He had a chance to barehand it, step and throw, got a better chance.
Let's quickly step out. 10 seconds for station identification from Fort Myers. This is Twins baseball. It's a base hit all the way for Sierra. As Romero checks on the runner, he's back in safely. Edmundo Sosa. He committed an error back in the 9th inning that led to the tying run. Steps in from the right side. Here's the pitch, up and in, ball 1. Sierra stays, and the 1-0 pitch fouled off. Piece of Jimenez behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. We are with you next on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Central Time. Twins take on Team USA. We'll have that for you both on radio and on television. 6 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday night. Throw to first base, close play, and Sierra back in safely. A good move there from Romero, and plenty on that throw. Cardinals have made some base running miscues late in this game. It allowed the Twins a chance to tie it. Swing and a foul. Jimenez hangs on. A fastball, sinker. Putting back inside 1-2. Cardinals made the third out in the 8th inning at third base. Made the third out at the plate in the 9th. Danny Santana. A couple of outfield assists, ending those innings. And the 1-2, and that one pops away from Jimenez, and now Sierra's going to take second base. It'll be a pass ball on a sinker that Jimenez in the glove and just popped free.
Yeah, Corey, he was setting up outside, down and away, and he had to reach back up and in, and good movement on it. And almost looked like Jimenez thinking that that ball was going to deflect, hit the hitter a little bit, and kind of alligator armed it, kicked away.
I think pass ball, wild pitch after looking at it again. Yeah. So 2-2 on Sosa. And Sierra, the go-ahead run at second base. And 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Ground ball right side. Adrianza sliding stop. To his feet. Throws him out. Andy Adrianza makes the play to his left. The Cardinals don't score. Leave one. Last of the 10th inning coming up. All tied 1-1 on your home for Twins baseball. The Twins can win it in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Game tied 1-1. Dan Rolfing. Bad for the second time. Dan bounced out to the second baseman in the 8th inning. Still Ryan Sheriff pitching. As he throws a first pitch. Fastball strike called 0-1 on Rolfing. At the Arizona Diamondbacks last year, all in the minor leagues. Mobile and Reno. And the 0-1 is lifted foul out of play. Before that, 15 with the Mets. Las Vegas, 55 games there. Was last in the Twin system in 2014. 76 games with Rochester. 1 balls and 2 strikes on Rolfing. Sheriff from the stretch. And here's the pitch low and inside. Cardinals protecting the double. Let's look at where they defend. The third baseman just playing off the line. Well, back behind the base, but just about 3 feet off the line. One and 2 on Rolfing. Down and inside. Breaking ball, 2-2. Share of the lean now. Brings the ball to his glove at the belt. Deals 2-2. Got him. Wolfing strikes out swinging. A pitch that was down in the zone. So there is out number 1. The line score today comparable. Both teams 1 run. Both teams 7 hits. A big number that stands out. 3 Cardinal errors, including 2 in the 9th inning. And here's the pitch on Benji Gonzalez, showing bunt, pulled it back. It's outside and low ball.
You know, and that's something that a lot of the Cardinals are talking about this year, is cleaning up the defense. But at the same time, you've got guys in there with number 92 and 86 on their back, most likely not going to be part of their big club.
1-0 pitch, a pop fly foul down the right side near the berm and out of play.
A little surprised, though, they put Carpenter over at first base this year, or going to. Here's a guy that's made the All-Star team as a second baseman and a third baseman. Thought he'd be better on that side, and then bring Johnny Peralta over and ask him to play some first base. But Peralta, they say, is going to play some third base. Carpenter over at first. They like it because they got a good defensive first baseman over there.
1-1 lifted to right center field. That's going to find the grass. A base hit for Gonzalez. Winning run is on. And on single for Gonzalez out to right center. Matt Carpenter, a guy that continues to work out with Torrey Hunter in the offseason. Down near Dallas. He's not alone. There have been several guys who now join in that group, and Torrey and Carpenter, their friendship goes back many years, and it's a credit to Carpenter, his work ethic, that he has turned himself into an elite player in the game. Here's Robbie Grossman now batting from the right side as Gonzalez leads, and the pitch is down low, ball 1. Carpenter's going to bat third. The Mike Matheny ideally is going to line up his order with Fowler in the leadoff spot, Diaz second, Carpenter third. St. Louis, it's a good team. It's a good lineup. It's a
good baseball town, too.
Great baseball town. You know, losing Alex Reyes to Tommy John, a big-time pitching prospect. He's out for the year with Tommy John. That's a tough blow there. And the 1-0 is down low, 2-0. St. Louis, as we documented earlier, they're always there. They're a team you can never count out. Year after year, they're a contending team. Two balls and no strikes on Robbie Grossman. It's 1 out in the 10th. Game tied at 1.
I was impressed with the number you had earlier about last 17 years. They've had 1 year where they were below 500.
That was 2007.
You know, and just think that, you know, before Matheny, Tony La Russa, the great run that he had with the Cardinals.
From the belt, and the 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Good pitch there from Sheriff, down and inside, 2-1.
Remember Tony La Russa, when he first came over there, he took a lot of heat because he wanted to go with Royce Clayton as his shortstop, and that was kind of the end all for Ozzie Smith. And that didn't sit well with Ozzie. Ozzie refused to come around the ballpark for a number of years.
Two balls and 1 strike on Robbie Grossman. Cardinals a double play depth, and the pitch, ball 3 inside. There, Fryer's been behind the plate from the get-go today. Likely back up Yadier Molina. Can anybody catch the Cubs in the NL Central? Cardinals believe they can. Good count for Robbie. The 3-1 bounce foul. Behind the plate. Garrett Cole is healthy. Pirates have an ace. Jameson Taillon, he's a stud as well in that starting staff. I'm not discounting Pittsburgh either.
Is it McCutcheon that's going to be playing
Right
a new
field.
position now?
Yeah, McCutcheon going to right.
That might help him out a little bit because less wear and tear on his body. You always hear that go over to right field, there's less wear and tear, and offensive numbers kind of go up.
So Gonzalez is moving here. 3-2, 1 out. He stays. The payoff pitch, low ball 4, and it's a walk.
Come on, rip it, big guy.
So 2 on, 1 out. And there is Zach Granite.
Rip it.
His first at bat. He came in a pinch run from Byung Ho Park in the 9th inning. Twins minor league player of the year last year.
Jump on him, right away.
Talking with some folks today, this morning before the game. And Zach Granite's name came up. And a few people tell me that he is making the most of this opportunity here in spring training. 2 on, 1 out in the 10th. Lefty on left as Sheriff misses low and inside. Ball 1. He's doing all the right things. He's saying all the right things. Added to the 40-man roster this offseason. Just to maybe knock in the winning run right now. Benji Gonzalez at second base. He is that. Grossman at first. And Sheriff's 1-0 on Granite. Slider strike called. Twins have never led in this game. And the 1-1 pitch, ground ball to the right side. This is Tovar to his left, gloving, throwing out Granite by a step. Round number 2, the runners move up. Gonzalez to third, Grossman down to second. So now a hit, pass ball, wild pitch, ball game. And it's up to Chris Jimenez.
He talked about Fryer being in here the whole ball game here. Watch something Keith in the third kick away here. I hate to lose. You'd hate to lose a ball game like that. But Sheriff has bounced a few.
Twins won a game like that a couple years ago early in the season on a cold night against Toronto. They lost a game early last season on a walk-off wild pitch in Kansas City. Here's Chris Jimenez as he takes outside and low ball 1. And then again, we kind of saw it all last year, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, every way you could lose, we probably witnessed it last year with the Twins.
2 on, 2 out, Jimenez. Gonzalez at third base, the winning run. And the 1-0 pitch, strike called. Bottom part of the zone, down and inside, but good enough. Even up the count. Now this is a strength for Jimenez. He hits left-handed pitching well. Now that may factor into the decision if he's on the team or not. Jason Castro, a left-handed hitter. Jimenez batting from the right side. And the 1-1. Fooled there. Not a good cut. Breaking ball from Sheriff. 1 and 2. He's got a good hook. Seen that a few times.
Yeah, it's got some depth to it down and in. That's a good pitch. We usually see the right-handers get the left-handed hitters to chase that one down about the back left ankle, and right here, snapdragon that little slide piece down around the back ankle of Jimenez. See if he comes back with it.
Down to their last strike. 2 on, 2 out in the 10th. And the 1-2 check swing, same pitch, not the same result. Not a bigger part of foul ball. As Jimenez did get a piece of that. So it's a 1-2 count. And the Twins catcher Jimenez, a non-roster invite. Has ties with both Thad Levine and Derek Falvey, formerly with the Indians and the Rangers. Ready for the 1-2. And here it comes. Lined up the middle, base hit center field, ball game over. Jimenez knocks in Gonzalez. The Twins rally for a 2-1 victory in 10. Jimenez getting high fives and handshakes behind the pitcher's mound as the Twins walk it off. against St. Louis here in the Grapefruit League. 2-1 the final in 10. Now, Danny, think about this ball game. Kyle Gibson pitched well. The bullpen did their part. The Cardinals made some base running gaffes late. And the Twins took advantage of some opportunities late.
Yeah, they kicked it away a little bit late in this ball game here, but the Twins will take it. I love the clutch hitting right there by Jimenez. And you touched on it, how well he hits left-handers. Looked bad on a couple of pitches, got something up in the zone and didn't try to do too much, went right back up the middle. But Kyle Gibson, 4 innings today. I thought he looked well. 1 walk, couple of strikeouts. Gibby was great, and then also the Rogers, Boshears, Ryan O'Rourke competition. Got to see those guys in the ball game today.
All right, Danny, I will see you on Wednesday night. Twins win the game 2-1 and 10. Back with the totals next on your home for Twins baseball. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Sellout crowd in Fort Myers for the Twins and the Cardinals on a beautiful, warm, and sunny Monday in Southwest.